Welcome everybody to the Stay Hot podcast. I'm glad to be back. It seems like it's been forever since I've seen you guys, probably because it has. I feel like I've broken a promise to you guys, but I did try to go live in Vegas. It just wasn't feasible. I even went down to the conference room and tried to use one of their desktop computers, but they were having a meeting in there. There wasn't really much else I could do. But I tried to put out a short, just kind of let you know I was still there. But, it was kind of tough for me to do a live in Vegas, although there was nothing more I would have loved to have done was to go live in Vegas. So I apologize to you all for that. It's good to be back. Good to see some familiar names in the chat. Always good to count old Wildcat of the Mountains. He's always in here talking to me before the show. Bruce is here. Brian's here. David's here. I'm sure we'll have a lot more show up as the show goes on. But before we start, want to say thank you to our sponsor, 14K Sports Media Productions, where game recognizes game. Shout out to those guys. Thank you to you all for continuing to show up each and every show. I really do appreciate you all joining me on Thursday night, Sunday night, Tuesday night, and whatever night else I decide to go live. It's never really on a set schedule. So I do appreciate you guys. Also, always looking for new members. If you're ready to become a member, I appreciate that as always. It's never expected, but always appreciated. Same thing with super chats. My merch store has went live. Since it's went live, it's done well. I've received a couple of those shirts in the mail. They fit true to size, feel really good. I'm excited because I plan on wearing one tomorrow to loyal BBN fans meet and greet show in Louisville. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. I can't wait. I can't wait to put a face to some of the names that I see week in and week out. Also, talk a little bit about the Stay Hot Ops trading cards. I've got the first 5 in, and we'll talk about those kind of towards the end. But Josh, shout out, man. Thanks for being here. As the Wicked scatters, thumbs up. Bruce is ready for some recruiting news. Well, Bruce, there isn't a whole lot of news. We're getting to that point of the summer to where TBT is getting ready to happen. We got some stuff there. The latest thing we got today was that it's finally been put to rest about Jamal Crawford. I really liked what Jamal Crawford said. If it was any normal time, he would have said yes on the spot to be an assistant coach for Mark Pope at Kentucky. However, he's still under contract with the NBA and their broadcasting team. Therefore, right now, it's just not what I would consider or what he would consider feasible to join a coaching staff at this time. Before we go on, please like the show as you come in. If you've not done so, please subscribe. While I was sitting in a couple of the casinos on downtime this week, I was able to drop the podcast to several people. There was actually a fella that was originally from Kentucky that lived in Pennsylvania now. I gave him the show, and he said he would check it out sometime. Obviously, I won't know if he did or not, just because when you guys subscribe to my show, it doesn't really tell me who subscribes. It just basically I see my number go up. So let me get the show on my socials here. It should have went out as soon as I went live, but sometimes I like to put it on there again just for anybody who has a chance. But, and I'll be quite honest with you, I haven't really kept up with much basketball in Vegas. I tried to, the time change affected me way more than I ever thought it would. And what I mean by that is, like we would go out, we had to do the coaching clinic every single day, and it was from 8 to 1. I got to hear the likes of Jeff Van Gundy speak, Brennan Kuhn, Brennan Sir, who is kind of the head guy of Coaching U. He assistant coach with Chuck Daly during those good years of the Pistons in the 80s. I got to hear the head coach of the Raptors speak, the head coach of the Trailblazers, I believe, the Serbian guy. Really, really good. One of the best clinics I'd been to. I took about 14, 15 pages of notes. Hopefully I'll be able to adapt some of that stuff into my coaching style and with my team. Sometimes it's hard to adapt NBA style, fundamentals with some high school girls fundamentals, but there were a lot of things that they broke down at all levels that I really did appreciate. A lot of college coaches there. It was really neat. BJ Armstrong came one day just to check it out. Got to say hi to him. It was just a neat experience. So I can't say enough about the Coaching U, and I'll probably go back next year. But, if you saw the title of the show, I put Staying Hot in Vegas. That was kind of a pun with the Stay Hot podcast, but I was literally staying hot. 113 when we arrived in Vegas on Thursday night, 111 on Friday, 110 on Saturday, 104 on Sunday, 101 on Monday. We flew back early at 5 or 6 a.m. local time when we boarded the plane in Vegas to come home. It was already like 92. It was absolutely crazy. Go through some of the comments here. Yeah, we've talked about Jamal Crawford for about 3 or 4 weeks in a row now, probably about a month. And, when Ryan Scoop Lemon announced on the show, KSR show, about, the new guy, and then Mark Pope even mentioned him in the interview, and kind of, I kind of could tell with Mark Pope's interview with KSR that Jamal Crawford was out, but it's good to finally hear from Jamal Crawford himself. So that wasn't any big news. Jimmy Jam. Hey, yeah, no doubt. I'm excited about the show tomorrow. Hopefully a lot of people come. I know some people in my chat are coming. I know Jay Cornett is. Hopefully we get quite a few people there. I looked it up today. It's about 2 hour, 10-minute drive for me. So I'm going to leave early. Hopefully I can get there early. Going to be wearing some of my Stay Hot merch. So if you want to check out the Stay Hot store, it is pinned at the bottom of the chat. Yeah, Gonzaga kind of had a rough way to go, but I don't feel a bit sorry for him. They had a guy leave to go back to Spain, point guard, I believe. I saw where Cade Tyson and a group of 5 or 6 other guys are suing for another year. But, as far as the 15th man, I see a couple people about the 15th spot on the roster. I haven't really heard anything other than some conversations, other than maybe some Zooms. I have heard Huendo. I have heard his name a lot more lately. That was the guy we saw early on that we really, really liked when we looked at his highlights. You remember that guy, Huendo? I really did like him. So I'm hopefully, maybe that transpires into something. But, I don't look for anything big on that 15th spot just right now. Is McBride hurt? Didn't go to Vegas and didn't play. I noticed he didn't go to Vegas. I didn't see many of the pictures. And what I learned today, I watched Happy Hours. You all was on there too. I asked in the chat, and somebody said that he was sick, so he didn't make the trip. I did see, I think Mario Matlin from KSR put some practice clips up of maybe some of the scrimmage clips up. And I think, it was when, I think it was just when La Familia was practicing maybe in the Craft Center. I did see McBride there. A couple people have noticed that, on his Instagram, he was still wearing Kentucky clothes. So I don't think there's anything to that right now other than maybe he was sick. Also noticed that Trent Noah did not appear in Vegas. And I think that's all because of his hamstring. I did not see any Elvis impersonators, honestly. I'll be honest with you. With the heat the way it was, I was on the Strip, very limited. I did go the Strip because, if you're going to go to Vegas, you have to see it. But the coaching clinic took up our morning. By the time we Ubered back, kind of changed clothes because of the sweat and the heat, and we went to the casinos a couple days. We went to a Las Vegas Aces game. I got to see the NBA Summer League. I got to see the World Series of Poker. If you notice, everything that we did was kind of inside, and that's just because it was so hot. Amy actually went to Vegas, not California. I went to Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada. I looked for the Kentucky team, but they did a lot of stuff indoors too. They actually went to the Summer League on their first day there. I didn't go to my second day there, so we kind of crossed paths. We missed each other. I did see a lot of footage from them at the Sphere when they took in the Kenny Chesney concert. It looked like they were having a blast. They also went to Top Golf. It looked like it was a really good trip for them. Hopefully a lot of good team bonding, which a lot of the things I'm hearing on this team is their chemistry is really, really good on the floor and off the floor. And I don't think people talk enough about chemistry and its importance to their production on the floor. Obviously, if you like to play with each other, you're obviously going to produce, your production is going to be better. And it's also just as obvious to everybody watching when you don't enjoy playing with each other. And I thought we saw that some last year. Holly, make a note. Crash would love an Elvis shirt to his Christmas list. I may make an Elvis merch and put Stay Hot on it. And, I'll make some Elvis merch for you, Captain Crash. Not much on recruiting right now. CJ Rosser news we might need to keep up with. News was last couple of days he could reclass. I just don't see that happening. I did hear that too, Jimmy. I don't necessarily see him reclassing, and I don't know if we need him more for 27 than we do 26. And I'm not so sure that I wouldn't like to have that Pavel Baco or Paco or whatever his name is, the big guy from overseas. I kind of like his game too. That is Eastern Standard Time, right, Jimmy? It'll be after 12 before I'm there, but you already know I was staying hot. All right, Crash. I'm a little bit behind in the chat. Huendo has been connected to several schools for a while now. I don't see much coming from that. Josh says, no, I didn't. You don't really realize how much stuff is going on in Vegas, like internet, TV, all that stuff does not do it justice until you actually get there and see. But I can tell you this. For my first ever experience of a WNBA game with Las Vegas Aces, the atmosphere was crazy. Asia Wilson dominated. They beat the Phoenix Mercury by about 50. I stood up and cheered and danced and tried to get free shirts and whatever else they were throwing in the crowd. I was unsuccessful. They did give away Sesame Street bucket hats because it was Kids Day. I actually gave mine to a kid who wasn't there in time to get one, and they really wanted one. So the kid came up to me and said, hey. And a younger kid, but not like toddler, but came up and asked if I would be wearing it. And I said, do you really want it? And he said yes, or she said yes. So I gave it to her. So I didn't get to bring home the bucket hat with me. I really wanted it, but I felt like she wanted it more than I did. So I went ahead and gave it up. I think if Jamal wants to come in 3 or 4 years, they'll make sure to have a spot for him. He seemed like he would be very interested in coaching at Kentucky if he didn't have the contract. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that. Thank you. Thank you very much. We just talked about that, John. There's been a lot of names mentioned, just some conversations, some Zooms, nothing of any importance right now. I'll show you some of the stuff at the WSOP, Holly. It was really nice. They are for me, Crash, because I don't care, but I've got like a permanent yarmulke back here that I wear. You can see it when you're standing behind me or above me. And if it gets sunburnt, it hurts. But yeah, I did get to see Otega Owe. He didn't play the day I was there, but I did get to see him. I made sure to holler at him and tell him BBN was in the house. So he gave me a smile. It's great. I guess it's great when you're out in Vegas and you can see people you're familiar with. But, Holly talked about the World Series of Poker. And I don't know how many of you are interested in poker, but I've played some poker tournaments. I played cash games. this week at Caesar's Palace and actually won about 300 or 400. I played a cash game at the Horseshoe, which is where the World Series of Poker was. So it was nice to play in some of those bigger casinos other than just a Hard Rock in Cincinnati. But, and you've probably seen this on TV if you've watched. When you walk in, it's got the big letters WSOP. As soon as I walked in on my table, or not on my table, but that is no Zoom. As I'm sitting there with Phil Hellmuth, that was really neat to watch him. Daniel Negreanu the same way. Phil Hellmuth actually in the very last bracelet event this summer, which happened yesterday or last night, he actually finished runner-up. It would have been his 18th bracelet, which is the most by far. Finished runner-up. Negreanu actually won a bracelet this year. I think he won $2.2 million in a bracelet. This right here is Michael the Grinder Mizrachi. This is right here is actually in the main event. The Grinder actually won the main event last year. And honestly, he was making a deep run in the main event this year. When there was like 8,000 or 9,000 maybe participants, this was the final 200 when I watched. So if you're familiar with poker, I'm sure you know who the Grinder Mizrachi is. This right here is Alex Foxen. He's won 2 or 3 bracelets this year. It was hard to get a picture of him. He was on another table at the main event. His rail was deep. I couldn't get anywhere close to him. But, this is actually a cool experience because with the Grinder, there was there's no Zoom there. I'm standing on the rail with him, and after each hand, he would get up and come over and talk to the people on the rail. So he'd come over and talk to us. He'd look up and see how many chips he had. It was just a neat experience, And I showed you Alex Foxen. Well, here's his wife, Kristen Foxen. She's also won bracelets this year in the World Series of Poker. So it was nice to see these guys here. Like I said, I'm a poker enthusiast. By no means am I a pro. A lot of times I play just for fun. By the way, I forgot to give Pepsi a shout out. I always got it with me. But it was kind of neat to see all those guys there and to watch them play, because when they're at the table, and you don't always see this on TV, they cut up a lot. You only see specific hands on TV. You don't get to see every single hand dealt. A lot of times they edit and, try to fit it in with the time period, unless they're just streaming the whole event. But that was a neat event. And I watched that the very first day I was there. So it actually started at 1:00, and our Coaching You clinic was over at 12:30. So we took an Uber straight to the Horseshoe. And actually the Horseshoe is connected to another casino called Paris. So they had some going on in Paris, some going on in the Horseshoe. I love Doyle Brunson. I liked his son, Todd Brunson, too. But it was just a neat experience. I'm glad I got to experience that. Then I just stayed around a little bit that day, played some cash game. Phil's actually, I agree a lot with that statement. I didn't get the opportunity to see him bust or lose a big hand and, fly off the rails and lose his cool. But he's actually seemed like when I first saw him, he was sitting at a table by himself and he was eating a sub sandwich, whatever, on dinner break. And I actually went up and spoke to him, kind of shook his hand and introduced myself. And, he talked to me like I was. But I think he's humbled a lot because he has 2 sons that are playing right now, Phil Jr., and I think the other one's Nick. And they both went deep in some events, and he seemed more focused on cheering for his kids than he did himself. I saw a different side of Phil Hellmuth than what we see on TV, when they call him the poker brat. He is very arrogant. He is very confident, but so are a lot of those other guys. If you want to talk about somebody that's full of himself, and he's my favorite player, is Daniel Negreanu. You're talking about somebody that's arrogant and confident. I'd even go as far to say conceited maybe, but the guy's so good at what he does, and maybe rubs people the wrong way, but it was fun to watch. But the next day, after our clinic, like I said, I got to hear a lot of great speakers. Jeff, I've said constantly for years now as a coach that what makes an NCAA coach an NBA coach, what makes them any different than me? What do they know about the game of basketball that I don't? I look at basketball as a universal language. It's a language that, if you know basketball, everybody speaks that language. That's not true. And I didn't really know that. Until I kind of heard a professional coach speak, and somebody like Van Gundy, like I said, the head coach from Servio, Darko, he may be a Orlando Magic head coach. I said Portland, maybe Orlando Magic. I think it's Orlando Magic. Darko, he was phenomenal, talking about the differences between the European game and the American game. He talks about how he feels like the Americans are more into the flashy play. The Europeans are more into the fundamentals and just winning. And I believe a lot of that. And I think you can tell a lot by the way they play. And I think you can also tell a lot by the amount of Europeans that are coming to the Americas to play. But, when I was at the Vegas game, first of all, let me just tell you. Let me see if I can get some of these pictures up here. If I can get them sent to my email, I'll pull them up here. I should have done this earlier, but let me just tell you this. WNBA ticket prices. What's up, Clyde? What's up? How are you, brother? Glad you can make it. There's a lot of familiar names I see in the chat. I'm sorry I haven't really been focusing on the chat. But I will tell you this also. I had in my mind that the WNBA ticket prices would probably be somewhat affordable. And maybe they are in some places, but the Las Vegas Aces are really, 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 really good. And I didn't find anything cheap in Vegas other than there was one place that I found that was cheap, and you have to go if you've never gone. In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger. Okay? It was phenomenal. And when we walked in, there wasn't even a seat. There's about 200 or 300 deep outside waiting to get in. I was actually inside the door. I'd left because I wasn't going to stay out in that heat. What's up, man? There's one of my best friends right there. What's up, Scotty? Thanks for stopping by, my man. I did meet Ortega. Other than I was in my seat and he was down, and I'll tell you about that here in a minute, but let me finish on my Aces. So I thought the WNBA, WNBA for some time now has been looking to market their game, trying to get attendance. The Vegas, they play in T-Mobile Arena maybe? Or no. Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra Arena is where the Aces played. And let me just tell you, that place was full. Those women sold that thing out. Like I said, they beat the Mercury really, really bad. And let me just kind of give you a heads up. I ended up waiting until the very last minute to get those tickets with the Aces. We ended up getting those tickets for about $50, me and a buddy of mine that went. $50 a piece. We got really good seats. I'll show you our seats here in a minute. We got so $50 I didn't feel like was too bad. But, we had the choice of going to the Aces game that day or going to the Indiana Fever at Las Vegas the next day. And, of course, if you've listened to my show, you pretty well know that I'm a fan of the Indiana Fever, okay? That's just all there is to it. I love Caitlin Clark. I really wanted to see her play in person. But the tickets almost triple when Caitlin Clark is coming to town. And the lady I sat to, and if she asked about the podcast, she subscribed to it while I was there. If she is watching, she said she would tune in sometime and watch. If she is, I want to say that, being able to sit next to somebody who will talk to you, interact, friendly, it was a breath of fresh air. It made the game enjoyable. So shout out to that family. I really enjoyed sitting beside them. Didn't know them. I met them. But I really wanted to see Caitlin Clark, but instead of seeing Caitlin Clark, I did get to go see the NBA Summer League the next day, but I will tell you about that. I want to watch Caitlin Clark play for her basketball ability. Sophie Cunningham, I like watching her play for a whole nother reason, if you know what I'm talking about. Because Sophie, the one thing she does do is stay hot. I love Sophie Cunningham. But I didn't get a lot of pictures of the game. I was too busy talking. I got a picture of Asia Wilson warming up, but they create so much smoke in that arena with kind of like hype and just blowing stuff everywhere. It was like I couldn't even see it. So I deleted that. But I did get to see Maria Taylor. She was right down below me where I was sitting. She spoke to me for about 3 or 4 minutes. She was on broadcast that day. You can see her here with this in the middle is Cheryl Miller. You all probably know Cheryl Miller, Reggie's sister. Her and Laura Taylor both had on the shirt and tie. And that's them kind of doing the pregame. And over here to the far right where my cursor is, if you can see it, that is Sue Bird. And I remember watching Sue Bird play when the WNBA was first, in its infancy, going Sue Bird, just phenomenal player. So I thought that was a really cool picture. But the coolest thing I saw was this lady right here. I'm just going to tell y'all right now. Yes, Clyde, Maria Taylor was hot. Now, I know this picture right here doesn't necessarily do her justice because I got her mid-smile. But, yes. But this lady right here really enjoyed her job. Really enjoyed her job. Okay? I got a kick out of her. She did this like every time out. She did it during the game. She just loved her job. And that was kind of made me happy to see it, But the atmosphere in the game was unbelievable. Unbelievable. But, it wasn't really a close game, which is okay. It allowed me to look around and see a lot of the different things going on. But, I will tell you this, the Las Vegas Aces have a very loyal following of their team. So then after that game, like I said, was in Michelob Ultra Arena. I also got to see Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play. The architecture of that building is phenomenal. Phenomenal. It was nice to watch. Vegas, the architecture in Vegas is great anyhow. But the next day, of course, we had our clinic on Sunday, and it was the last day. That's when Van Gundy spoke. A few others. There was if anybody in here coaches high school basketball or has a kid that you're in charge of your own child's basketball development, or you coach a little league team or whatever, there's a guy named Phil Beckner. Phil Beckner is probably the greatest. Now, to hear NBA coaches talk, he is currently right now the hottest name in player development. He works out with all of them. He gave us drills. He worked out with Giannis like a week before that he spoke. But he gave us a lot of drills, a lot of things. And he you can look him up on Twitter. I'll put his name in the chat because I'm going to use a lot of his individual some of his individual drills, one-on-one drills, things like that in practice. But it's at Phil Beckner. I put his Twitter handle in the chat if you'd like to follow him. He is really, really good at what he does. No, like I said, we weren't out on the strip very much late at night. I actually didn't see anything that was kind of out of the ordinary, which kind of surprised me. My mom lives in Idaho, and she had told me a story about her and her husband in Vegas, and like a showgirl kind of walked up to him on the street and dangled purple, handcuffs in front of him and, things like that. So I was kind of waiting to see what this was all about, and I didn't really get to see anything like that. But some of the clothes just regular people wear was kind of shocking to me. I don't know if Indiana has the guts to trade Caitlin Clark. They need somebody in the front office who knows how to market her, knows how to market the team. However, they're going to have to make a point at some point. Now, listen, I'm not saying, I just don't think Stephanie White Crash, you crack me up. Crash said the purple handcuff sounds like a regular Tuesday night at his house. But I think the Indiana Fever's got to come to a point in time where they're going to have to choose. Do they want Stephanie White as their coach, or do they want Caitlin Clark as an Indiana Fever? Because Stephanie White's offense doesn't really, in my eyes, work for Caitlin Clark. You know, if you notice, the offense seems to run a little bit smoother and better with Ty Harris running it because she's not a ball-dominant guard. It seems to work for Kelsey Mitchell. But if something happens where Caitlin Clark decides just to give up basketball, the WNBA will be in trouble. It picked up a lot of casual fans because she's so exciting to watch play. Now, when Caitlin was sitting out with injuries, the Fever were winning, but it was kind of boring to watch. And I know when you're a Fever, like front office, coach, player, you don't really care how you win. You just want to win, boring or not. But the Fever walked right into Las Vegas and just crushed them, killed them. She's not going overseas to play. She's not starting her own league. Now, these are all stuff that people are saying she should do. Do you not have a smart TV, Jake? You can click your down. If you got it on your TV, click the arrow down, and it'll show you like the little timeline. Then below it, you'll see like a chat box. Click it, and your comments will appear on screen. Or I could probably make them appear on my screen if you can't figure it out. Although it is a little bit of a distraction, I'll do it for you, Jake. Jake, I can't wait to see you tomorrow in Louisville, man. Hopefully some of these other people go to Louisville. If there's any single females in the chat that want to ride to Louisville, I can pick you up. But the last thing I really got to see was the NBA Summer League, and I got some hot takes on that. It was very good competitive basketball. It was I got to see. Now listen, the way this works is the Thomas Mack Arena where UNLV plays is connected to another pavilion. So they play games at both courts. And what they do is they stagger the games. Like if they have a game at Thomas and Mack at 1, they'll start another game at 2 at the other gym. Then they'll start another game right after the one ends. What's up, Keeper? How you doing, brother? But, you know, I got to see AJ Diabonsta play, and it was really neat because they shut him down after the game I watched. And why did they shut him down? Because he dominated. He flat out dominated. Best player. He's the best player in the draft. It was very easy to see with your own two eyes. The Washington Wizards got it correct with drafting him number 1. Now, I don't care what Darren Peterson says in interviews about he should have been number 1, blah, blah, blah. AJ Diabonsta was the best player in the draft, or he was definitely the best player I saw in Summer League. I also got to see Darren Peterson play. Darren Peterson didn't have a bad night, ended up scoring like 22 or so. However, he had a high percentage of shots. I'm not 100% sure that he shot a very good percentage, but he shot a lot of shots. I got to see Malik Thomas. Cal was there every game that Malik Thomas played. And if you follow me on Twitter, you saw me call Cal out. Cal talked about, I called him out and he didn't reply or whatever, but Cal talked about how great it was to watch Malik Thomas play, but didn't mention any of the Kentucky guys that he watched because Malik was actually going against, I think Hugo. He was going against Hugo or however you want to say it, Onyenzo. Also, he watched Chris Livingston. But he doesn't ever mention any of those guys. And, you know, it almost feels like he's forgotten those guys that he coached at Kentucky, like a Chris Livingston, who's almost forgotten. I bet there's some people in here in this chat have forgotten about Chris Livingston. I was kind of surprised he was still playing in the Summer League because he's on year 3. But it kind of bothered me that Cal did put a picture out later on or earlier with Hamidou Diallo, but Hamidou wasn't playing. He was there watching. I did get to see Trey Young, Alex Sarr, Patrick Ewing. I could go on for days about, if you ever want to see a lot of pros, go to the NBA Summer League because they all come to watch the rookies. I also got to see, Malik Thomas did score like 30 the game I watched, but he also shot 22, 23 shots. He also scored 40, I think, the next game he was a lot more efficient. But Malik Thomas has never seen a shot he didn't like. I was one that thought Malik should have came back to Arkansas. I thought he would have made a lot more money NIL than what he'll make in the NBA this year. I'm kind of glad he didn't because I think it would have made Arkansas a lot better. But it was also it was nice to watch him play. I got to see Jackson Robinson play for Cleveland, hit a couple threes. Caden Daltrey should be Pope's main target. That kid he's like Malik Monk in a Tyler Eulis body. The dude's a scoring machine. If you saw his highlights today in the Peach Jam, if you haven't seen his highlights in the Peach Jam, go check him out. Also, Ryan Hampton had a really good day in the Peach Jam today. I read something saying, Pope wasn't there, but Cody Figure was, and they said that he just took over his game. So good for Ryan Hampton. I hope he crushes it over there just because they dropped his rankings just for the mere fact of committing to Kentucky. He went from number 6 in the rankings to number like 15 or something. So congrats to Ryan Hampton. But the one person in the summer league, and this is going to sound like I'm hating because I'm not, but the one person that I saw that struggled was Darius Acuff. He struggled the game I watched. A couple times attacking the basket. He got blocked. He is only 6'2", and I just kept thinking, if he's getting blocked in the summer league by these guys, what's he going to do when he challenges, some of those guys at the rim in the league? But I think the next game, the day after I was there, I think Acuff had a lot better game. Acuff didn't get many shots off. I think he only shot 1 or 2 threes the game I watched, which he missed them both. He may ended up getting double figures just because he got to the free throw line. And the one thing they did in the summer league, and I don't know if y'all been watching this, but it cracked me up. They're doing the old high school 1 for 2 in the summer league. If you get fouled on a shot, you shoot 1 free throw. If you make it, you get 2. If you get fouled on a 3 and make it, you get 3. Like if you make the free throw, you get 3 points. Yeah, I think Ryan Hampton is one of those dudes we're going to be glad came to Kentucky. He truly cares. I mean, truly likes Kentucky. I was kind of shocked that the recruitment of Marcus Spears Jr. went that fast. I kind of thought he would go to Texas, but just because of Ryan Hampton, I thought he would play it out a couple days to make it look like he was thinking. But the moment he reclassed, I mean, he committed to Texas right away. But I hope the summer league isn't any kind of indication of Darius Acuff, and I know he's going to struggle having a rookie year, his rookie season, but he's good enough, he's talented enough. I think he'll figure it out. I'll tell you who really surprised me and got a lot of minutes and played well was Onyenso. Hugo Onyenso. I think that's his name, right? Hugo Onyenso. Is that right? I feel like that's not right, but that's what keeps coming out. But Onyenso had about 5 or 6 blocks. Rebounds, made a couple nice putbacks. Just with his size alone, I'm hoping he can find a roster. He still struggled on a couple short little hooks. Yeah, I did hear that too, and I didn't know that when he was being recruited. But it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, he's reclassing. He's in the class of 26. Has anybody seen where he ranks in the class of 26? Has anybody seen any rankings come out with him included? I'd be curious to see where he is and where he ranks, just because the class of 26, I mean, I'm just curious to where he started or where he ends up in that class. Let me see here. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too, Holly. He's only 6'2", and I kept thinking, Rudy Gobert, Rudy Gobert, Rudy Gobert. If he's challenging somebody of that size and that defensive ability, what's going to happen? But the NBA Summer League was a very affordable experience. Like I said, you could literally watch close to 6 to 8 games if you wanted to go back and forth. Now, there was a tunnel connecting the two, but it wasn't just like 25 feet. You had to walk a little bit. But as you walked over there, they actually had a Dairy Queen over there that you could get blizzards. And I saw a lot of people coming back with ice cream that I wanted to go watch the Celtics and Amari Williams play, but they were in the other gym. And be quite honest, he was playing at the same time as I was watching Diabonsa, and I really wanted to see him play. I'm glad the Wizards waited till the game after to shut him down for the rest of the summer. But yeah, I did. Somebody asked, I did get I wouldn't say meet Otega Oweh. He was in a walking boot one day that when they played, he wore both tennis shoes. Wasn't in a boot, but didn't play. I'm not 100% sure what his status is for the remainder of the summer league. However, when I did speak to him, I let him know BBN was in the house. He just smiled and kind of patted his heart, basically appreciating. So, I'm sure it's nice to be out in Vegas and still see some Big Blue Nation around. I honestly didn't see many people wearing, any Kentucky shirts at the summer league. I thought I would see some. Looking at Patrick. Oh, I got to see Bam Adebayo at the Vegas game. He actually walked right by me. I hollered at him, shouted BBN, and he just walked on by. And that was the day after he decided to punch Tyler Hero. So he probably wasn't going to do much interaction. I disagree, Clyde. I think his size will hurt him. He's not going to be able to create, get into the basket, and finish over top of 6'10", 6'11" guys that are way more athletic. He struggled in the summer league. So I think he's got to learn a little mid-range pull-up jumper. He's good enough, and he will figure it out. Don't get me wrong. He will figure it out. But he struggled a little bit in the summer league. But I do think his size is going to hurt him. I'd like to have seen Mikael Brown. I didn't get to see him. Tyler Hero came out with some pretty poor comments about playing with Bam after he had got traded to Milwaukee. I just think, and I don't know if Tyler Hero truly believes everything he was saying. I don't know if it's pure frustration. I don't know if it was trying to stay relevant. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I was a little disappointed in him. But Bam sat front row. He'd stand up and cheer Asia Wilson dominated. If there was any question in my mind who the best player in the W was before I went there, there's not anymore. I think Caitlin is still the most exciting player in the WNBA. Just like last night, she misses a three, gets it back, throws a behind-the-back pass to Boston. Boston nails a three. She just plays an exciting brand. But Asia Wilson is the best player in the WNBA. So fun to watch, so fundamental. Her footwork was amazing for a post player. I really enjoyed it. She was a treat. I didn't like Chelsea Gray and some of her comments coming out. But I'll tell you who, Jackie Young can ball. Jackie Young is good. But you know what was funny in that game I watched against the Phoenix Mercury? It was Passat's first game with the Aces after, I guess the Fever had a specific time to sign her. If they didn't sign her, she becomes a free agent. They didn't sign her. She becomes a free agent. She goes to Las Vegas. She scored 20-some points in like 9 minutes of play, hit like 6 of 7 from the three. So you know what all the comment and all the talk was about, if she can do this with the Aces, why didn't the Fever sign her? Why did the Fever get rid of her? Blah, blah, blah. It's all right to like Sophie better than Caitlin, but you may want to admit and appreciate that Caitlin's a better basketball player. Sophie's playing her role well, shooting the three ball really, really well. She's a hustler. She's a fighter, a great teammate. I can tell you what, if you're going to go after Caitlin, you're going after Sophie too. I like how Sophie and Boston kind of take up for her. I don't think anybody else on the team really does. I think it's starting to show that there's some selfishness on that team, a lot of one-on-one. And there's a lot of times 3, 4, 5, 6 trips. Caitlin hadn't touched the ball, that she'll do some one-on-one action just to get her shot up, 35-foot three. And sometimes that's not the best brand of basketball, but it is what it is. But, so that's basically my Vegas trip. I enjoyed playing poker, like I said, at the Horseshoe as well as Caesar's Palace. I enjoyed the Vegas. I don't know if I ever get a chance to go to another Las Vegas Aces game, so I was glad they were in town when I was there. They automatically do the coaching clinic. It's called Coaching You. Like I said, if you're a coach, follow them. If you're a fan that's in charge of maybe the development of your child or maybe a few child, maybe you're basketball, maybe you have a side job of being somebody that develops. Then follow at coaching_you on Twitter. It's a good informational resource as well. Caleb Wilson is a dog. I agree with that, Clyde. He's had a really, really good summer league. And I think we saw a little bit of his dog at Carolina before he got hurt. I think we're gonna like him. Spears is number 8. Not bad. Did you all see the Field of 76's comments? Did you all see them? I think it was, is it Douster? How's he pronounce that? Douster? Douster? D-A-U-S-T-E-R, that feller. He said he is not sold on Arkansas, which kind of shocked me because Arkansas has a really good player this year, Smith Jr. Chris Livingston, he was out there playing his role. He hustles, plays defense, rebounds, gets a dunk or two here and there. He's not really involved much in the offense, that kind of thing. But, he's one of those guys you like having on the floor, kind of like an Isaiah Jackson. He's out there banging, playing tough. I think he guarded A-Cuff some. Really physical with him, kind of made it hard on him. Jake, I accepted your friend request on Facebook, so got you on there. I appreciate that. But let's talk a little bit about we got a little bit of highlights today of the scrimmage for our current roster. They scrimmaged the La Familia TBT team. And let me just say, and I don't really want to do this publicly, but I'm really worried about our TBT team this year. Not having Aaron Harrison's going to hurt. He's rehabbing an injury as well as he just had a child. Then excuse me. Then one of the things I think can really be a factor in the TBT is just low post physical play. Reed Travis injures his back. He's out. We did get to replace him with Marcus Lee. A different kind of 6'11" than what Reed Travis is. But he's an adequate replacement. We all remember what he did as a cat against Michigan in the NCAA tournament, the Marcus Lee game. I think he did okay at Cal when he left. Archie Goodwin's not playing in week 1 or in the first game due to a schedule conflict. That's going to hurt because Archie's one of those guys that can get you a bucket when you need it. DeAndre Liggins, I'm going to love watching him play. You talking about a dog. He's a guy that would just D you up. I don't know how well his game's going to translate to the TBT. However, I am worried about it. Willie Colley's just, and I don't know if you all seen him. I'm sure you've seen him, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it looks like he's aged a lot. Like, he's aged 20 years in the last 10. He looks really, really old. And And Willie Colley's one of my favorite players because he was the first what I considered celebrity to follow me on Twitter. He would actually DM me back, and we would play a Call of Duty together sometimes. I actually played with him and Perry Stevenson. That was a fun experience because I wasn't any good. I was just on there basically to talk trash. But he looks old. He said this is his last TBT, and I will always appreciate Willie Colley and what he's given to the university. He speaks very highly of it. Tells a lot of good stories from his time when he was at Kentucky. Khalil Whitney's good. If we remember the Dragon, he played last year, kind of won our hearts over after leaving Kentucky. You know, we kind of, not going to say we didn't follow him or forgot about him because it wasn't true, but I think he's even made his home in Lexington now. So he is, I think he's training some high school players. Of course, Andrew Harrison, we know he can play. Sean McNeil from West Virginia and Ohio State, that guy can shoot it. It's not like the guys that we're filling spots with can't play. I'm going to tell you all right now, if y'all have not seen Chris Coffey play, he played at Georgetown College in Scott County. He's a TBT veteran, but he also plays a lot in the Maysville Dirt Bowl up here in Maysville, Kentucky, and I go watch him play. Chris Coffey can play. Chris Coffey can play. So I'm not really a lot of people wondering about him. He has beaten, I think, the Ville before in the TBT. He's talked about the rivalry, and, you know, although he didn't play for Kentucky, he talks about he knows what the rivalry means. But Chris Coffey can play. He's one of those freak athletes around the rim that'll just smash it on you. I don't know much about Daryl Morsell, who I think played at Villanova, was it? And I don't know anything about James Maynard Bell. But I'm assuming that they're probably Division I basketball players. They probably played overseas. A lot of these guys have. But I think it starts Saturday at noon. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Kentucky did sell the most tickets, so we do get 2 of the 3 games at Memorial. Is that right? Tell me if I'm right about 2 of the 3 in Lexington. That would make me happy to see Willie in Lexington all the time. I'm a big fan of Willie. But anyways, I'm concerned about our TBT team. And I don't know if, you know, the scrimmage, I don't know if that makes me more concerned. I did notice that in some of the highlight clips, it looked like Zion Hawthorne was playing with the TBT team in the scrimmage. I think some other UK guys did because I'm not so sure. I know Marcus Lee wasn't there. I think he arrived on campus late last night. Probably practiced with them today. But we also didn't have, for our team, we didn't have Cam Williams. We didn't have Frank Kepnong. And we didn't have – there was somebody else that didn't play. Oh, McBride, I think. Yeah, those – I mean – and I'll tell you what, the Maysville was set to have a 3-on-3 Gus Macker tournament this summer, but they didn't get enough people to sign up, which kind of surprised me. A lot of people still love to play basketball in Maysville. No, he used to get frustrated with me. My name on there was P Dirty 13. That was my gamer tag, P Dirty 13, and he'd always call me Dirty. He's like, "Where you at, Dirty? Come, Dirty, revive, Dirty, revive." And I'd always be across the map because I couldn't follow them. They were moving 100 miles an hour. I was moving at 15. But, you know, we did get to see some highlights come out. I'm going to play those for us here in a minute. I'll play them here in a minute for us. But, Trent Noah didn't play. Cam Williams didn't play. Frank didn't play. McBride didn't play. Quad A Green. I think he ended up having personal issues, I think it said. I'm not 100% sure what Quad A had, but I did read that he wasn't playing. which kind of sucks because I think Quade caught a lot of heat. He was kind of at Kentucky in that time when we weren't so well, and he was the point guard. Yeah, I did see where they're still trying to get Oscar to play. I saw where Jacob Toppin's back in Lexington. Toppin can't play, I think, because he signed a two-way when he played in the summer league with the Hawks, I believe. Right. But there's a reason. I think I saw John Hood or Twanny Beckham. I think it was Twanny said that they talked to Oscar. And they just couldn't get something worked out with him. Oscar could probably dominate a TBT game just with his work ethic. And, I mean, NBA guys couldn't keep him off the glass. I think he had 18 or 20 rebounds in an NBA game once. You know, he's got a skill, he's got a knack, and, you know, I can't believe he can't find an NBA roster, and I can't believe somebody wouldn't want, you know, him on their roster, somebody like him that just loves to rebound the way he does. I would hope that somebody would pick him up, but I know they're wanting to, and I know there's been some speculation, but TBT put out a graphic with the La Familia's roster, and he wasn't on it. I'm not so sure what the status is for adding players, how late you can add them, but Big O, for somebody who only played in Lexington for 2 years, he probably became one of my favorite players. I love listening to him talk. He always gave credit to other people, always gave credit to the Most High. He just was one of those guys that was easy to like. La Familia would have won it with Oscar. Dominate. But I did hear today, and I think I may have missed out on this, but there's like 2 separate TBT tournaments. There's one for alumni teams, and then there's another one just for, I guess, whoever. I think I missed out on that, and I may have, and if I did, I wish, and I don't know how you all feel about this, but I wish that the NBA, they say they're experimenting with the one foul shot counting for 2 or the one free throw counting for 3, how it speeds up the game. High school teams do that in the summer to speed up the game, but the clock usually doesn't stop. So does it really speed up the game? Probably not. I would like to see a study on how long a game lasts when you're shooting 2 free throws as opposed to shooting 1. But if they're going to experiment with any rule, and let me know your all's thoughts on this in the chat, I would love to see them experiment with the Elam ending. And here's why. I like the Elam ending because it makes the winning team have to make a shot to win. You can't just hold the ball. You have to make it, whether it be a free throw, a jumper, a layup, a dunk, a 3, it doesn't matter. The winning team has to make a shot to win it. And so if they're going to experiment with anything, I wish they would just experiment with the Elam ending. I think that was a phenomenal rule, a clever rule that somebody came up with. I wish they would I like the Elam ending just because I like, and it makes the defensive team have to get stops. If it's kind of like the NBA All-Star game, not now, but the way it used to be. What I mean by that is, like the teams would play, or like maybe like an NBA playoff game, maybe where it gets in the fourth quarter, teams start playing harder. The Elam ending, once it hits that 4-minute mark and they stop it and they add 8 points to the winning score to determine what the final score has to be, you watch the defensive intensity pick up and you watch the offense pick up. I wish the Elam ending jam would be something that they would look into, but it's probably not going to happen. But let's watch this video from Mark Pope. This is him. This is the highlights that the Kentucky men's basketball Twitter account put out today after the scrimmage.
Make sure and give these guys the appropriate love and respect that they deserve. You guys wore this jersey and made this place a place that you can come enjoy all the fruits of their labors and your own labors, okay?
Zion Hawthorne for three. Mason Williams is built like a dog. I mean, look at him arms. There's Braden Hawthorne. That may have been McBride right there playing with him. Look at Willie Colley still attacking the basket. Zoom for three. Now, I have to brag on Big Blue Nation, okay? I've given Big Blue Nation a lot of hell for how they act. Sometimes some of the comments they make regarding Pope, even after he signed Momcilovic, you know, all the negativity, things like that. I've given some hell, so now I got to give them credit when it's due. It was reported that during the scrimmage that Momcilovic struggled to make shots, okay? Now, I don't know how many shot. You notice the highlight didn't show him shooting any. It only showed him hitting Marino off the pick and roll or a slip action, whatever it was. But I honestly purposely logged on Twitter today, or not today. I mean, after seeing these highlights, because I saw it shortly after the highlights that he had struggled to make shots, and I didn't see anything at all about overpaying for him. He can't shoot. He's overhyped. I didn't see anything like that. Everything I saw was positive. Like, oh, don't get involved in the BS that that Momcilovic isn't playing well, not making shots. If you remember the board they put out, he's winning. He is number one in all the one-on-one games. Otis, I don't know if you saw those highlights, but Momcilovic hit Willie Colley on 2 pick and rolls, or either that or a slip. It wasn't a zoom action. It was kind of a pick and roll. So he's listen, when you can spread the floor like that and you got shooters and there can't be nobody in help, pick and roll can be effective. Now, I don't want him to do all pick and roll. Don't get me wrong. But he's going to throw it in there from time to time. He's going back to the zoom. I agree. The zoom's going to be a lot of what we do because there's so many different options. We had a he just did in those highlights. But let me find out here. Let me see. But I will also tell you that one of the speakers, and I'm thinking it was maybe Cody Toppert. He's an assistant coach for the Washington Wizards. He's one of the guys, like a lot of the speakers there said that he would be a head coach in due time. Like they've got him really as an assistant coach. He's really somebody that they respect or look up to. He's not going to be pick and roll dominant, I don't think, but he's not going to abandon it if it can help. Hold on a minute here. Let me look at here. Mason Williams is built like him. All right, that's a slip action, but he's going to the pick and roll. Slip ain't, that's not a part of that slip right there is part of the zoom action, but it's still like a pick and roll. Why is he open? Because Momcilovic has the ball. They're going to run a pick and roll this year, not dominant, but they're going to run it at some point in time. But what I was going to say is I think it was Cody Toppert of the Wizards talked about the zoom offense, and not only did he show us the zoom offense, kind of like what it's supposed to do and look like, he showed us every option off the zoom offense. Then what he also did was showed us counters based on what the defense takes away. Like the slip right there, if they're going to high hedge that screen on Momcilovic, which means the guy that's guarding the picker, if he's going to push Momcilovic out away from the balls and crowd his space so he can't get a shot off, then that's where Marino has to read it for the slip. That was one of the counter actions that he showed us. But, either way, I don't really care if they run zoom. I don't care if they run pick and roll. I don't care what they do as long as they put the ball in the basket. The type of offense they run, I will trust Mark Pope, Cody Feger, and the rest of the staff to find us the appropriate offense that we need. But I do want you to know, at Vegas, I stopped in here to put a good word in for Malachi Marino and Milan Momcilovic to get them I'm trying to get them an NIL deal through M&M's. So Milan Marino, if you're watching, please know that I did stop in the M&M store in Vegas to try to get you an NIL. So I have name dropped you. I think Marino can pass a little bit, but I'm not so sure he has Amari skills either. Amari really came on and really grew on me. I think we're going to get better. I don't know if we'll start out a good team. It didn't help that the very first clip of that video was Andrew Harrison splitting a trap and beating Usman off the dribble for a layup. But I think we have the ability to be a good defensive team because of our length, our quickness. So we may not start out, but we'll definitely get better. I hope that we're top 15, 20 at the end of the year in offense and defense. If we're in the top 20 in both, we'll be in the Final Four. There's a hot take for you. There's a little prediction for you. If you remember, Holly, that's what Anthony Davis did. Remember, he was like a 6-foot point guard as a sophomore. Then he grew like 8 or 9 inches. So he was a 6'11" point guard, basically. Guys, I'm starting to worry about our, we're going to have a lot of players and how we're going to use them. So I'm not 100% sure adding somebody in that 15th spot is important to me. I'm not so sure it's important to them. So, but yeah. So hopefully, I can tag. I will clip this part here, and I will tag Milan and Marino. Hopefully, we can get them an MIL deal. I'll tag M&M's as well. Get these guys some money. I know a lot of people were commenting about the score. It was 31-19, but I learned that they did play just one half. Now, I don't know what that one half, I don't know how many minutes that was. I don't know if they played 1 20-minute half running clock. I'm not really sure what the dynamics were of the scrimmage. 19 points seems to be a pretty good defensive output. Considering 3 of those points were Zion Hawthorne on the corner 3 from Andrew Harrison. So, and it actually looked like McBride made a 3. I think that was 21. The 21 that made a 3 at the top of the key, I think that was McBride. Maybe he played in the scrimmage, but just didn't go to Vegas because of his illness. Otis, his jumper looks wet. Like, it didn't even hit the rim. Everything I've read about Usman is that he's adapting, like, unbelievably well. Like, he is so good. He is so good. That's good to know. I know that John Boy's either going to be on here or on Twitter in the next 3 or 4 days asking. He always seems to be worried about that 15th spot. So I hope he's listening. If somebody comes along that we can get for 2 years, maybe, but I'm not worried about it. Okay, ones were 2s and 3s for 2. Okay. I agree, Neil. I agree. Man, when we watched his highlights on our show that night, I kept thinking, all right, this guy's going to be really, really good in transition. He's going to dunk on you. He can get up and down the floor. But his shot selection overseas in some of those videos looked horrid. But maybe it's because of the group he's playing with, the people he's playing with. I don't know anything about his teammates. However, I do know that I was really, really happy to hear how well he's been playing. I really hope I really hope they don't give those guys their eligibility. And it's not because I don't want Cade Tyson. I think he's definitely another Pope type player, that big guy that can stretch the floor and knock shots down. But that means also that you're going to have to deal with Aberdeen and some of these other guys. And I just don't want to set that precedence. Sorry that it happened to them like this, and sorry they had to be the year to miss out. But hey, let me tell you something. Do y'all remember? And it was funny because Brendan Sir, who was the assistant coach for Daly during those Pistons games, he talked about Vinnie Johnson a lot this week. And every time he said Vinnie Johnson, all I could think about was the microwave. He heats up quick. I don't think he's getting it. Even if they won the lawsuit, NCAA would appeal and the higher courts lean conservative right now, which means they will side with the NCAA. I hope. Well, I think also I can tell you what, Neil, one thing I've noticed as a coach, the only motivator I have is those seats beside me. Running doesn't motivate these people. But if I sit them on the bench, it seems to pick up their intensity a little bit. And also, shot selection, maybe with a set organized offense, going to get you better shots. Otis, lots of players are suing. I've only heard 5. Cade Tyson and maybe 4 or 5 others. Where are you hearing lots? Have I missed something? No, the Bulls didn't. Either the Bulls didn't play or they played on the other court and I didn't go watch. I got to see Acuff, Diabonsa, Peterson. Oh, the second best player I saw, I forgot. Yaxel Lindenborg. The dude was a baller. And he came out, like when he came out, he walked through the stands, shaking kids' hands, taking pictures, giving autographs. Yaxel was good. Yaxel was good. I'm glad you said that, Clay, because I kind of forgot. But no, everything I've read and heard about Caleb Wilson, has been really good. There was a guy that I saw. I can't think of his name right now. I'll know his name once I see it. That I think he played with Acuff and he scored 30 the game I watched. Like he was on fire from 3. Let me see if I can find the Kings here. Have they shut Wilson down yet? They shut Diabonsa down. He's done. He's not going to play anymore. The greatest motivator in the world is your ass on the bench. Ass meets bench. Bench retains ass. Ass transmits signals to the brain. Hey, brain transmits signals to the body. Body gets ass off bench. Plays better. It's a hell of I might screenshot that and I might relay that. That is 100% true. Yeah, okay. They got beat really bad tonight, I saw, but it's hard to tell from Summer League because literally everybody, they play 13 or 14 guys. But yeah. Source, Bobby Knight. I can see Bobby Knight saying that, so yeah. Let me see if I can find the Kings roster. Why? I'm on it. Oh, I got to fly out with the guy that plays on the Knicks Summer League. He was at the airport in Cincinnati, and I heard somebody come up and say to him, called him Champ. What's up, Champ? NBA World Champ or whatever. So I looked at his picture and found out he was playing on the Summer League. Muhammad somebody, I can't say his last name. Guy was big. I didn't get a chance to see the Knicks play, so I didn't get a chance to watch him, but he was on our plane. The best player that I saw was Diabonsa by far. Yaxel would have been second. I'm trying to find this guy for the Kings. Malik Thomas scored a lot, but he didn't play well. The dude has never seen a shot he didn't like. And he was taking heat from a lot of the fans in the stands about him. I mean, but yeah, Cal and Brad was there watching him. I think Diabonsa was 1. Yaxel was 2. I'd probably say Peterson 3 that I saw. I'm gonna tell you who. Oh, where's that guy's name? Maybe he wasn't a King. I thought he was. Alex Caravan didn't look very good for what I watched of him for the Kings. I'll tell you this. Oh, his arm has to be tired, no doubt. But he scored 40 some, I think, the next night. He had like 33 going into the fourth, the game after I watched. Yaxel was good. I'll tell you who I really liked for the Kings was the big man from Stanford, Maxime Reynaud. I think at one time he was rumored maybe to be going to Kentucky. Then he entered the draft, I think, if y'all remember that back in early April. I don't know if some of y'all may saw me post this on Twitter. But with Cleveland and Jackson Robinson, Morehead State's own played. Do you know who that would be? Riley Minix, 6'7" forward. Jackson Robinson looked pretty good. He's not. I mean, he doesn't handle the ball any. He basically gets shots off the ball. I think he was 2 of 3 from 3 when we watched. Let me see. I'm trying to find out. The summer league was, I mean, it was really cool. Oh, Will Riley was really good. Like I said, Chris Livingston did his role. I'll tell you who was Kadari Richmond. I think was he Seton Hall? Yeah, I agree. That's why I said, I thought Acuff struggled in the summer league. That's why I said I think he's going to struggle against bigger, more athletic bigs on finishing or getting to the rim. He's going to have to do a better job of getting contact and getting to the line. They didn't bail him out a lot in the summer league. It was really physical. Wagler looked really game the game I watched. He's a guard from Illinois, right? Window. He's pretty good, Wildcat. Mikael Brown's really, really good. I didn't get a chance to see him play. I was really hoping to see Ortega play, but obviously I didn't get to. He wasn't in a walking boot, though. Buddy Boeheim is still in the summer league, guys. Mara played for the Thunder. Mara played again. Oh, Illinois. Yeah. Wagler. But Mara from Michigan played against Lindenborg's team. He played well. Hey, you know who went undrafted that played for the Thunder that didn't do nothing? Y'all remember this name? Lamar Wilkerson. Remember, he didn't want to go to Kentucky to be just another player. Y'all remember him? Oh, Lamar Wilkerson. And I was sitting next to some Indiana Hoosier. Hey, Sturts played a lot. They played a lot of, like, it was crazy. Like, Sturts played a lot. That other guy from Iowa that shot the ball really, really well played. Not a female. I know what you're saying, though. He didn't want to be just another player. I'm trying to look at some of the other teams I got to. Went to Indiana, then went undrafted. All right, let me see who some of these other guys that I saw play. I think I'm forgetting somebody. He wouldn't say that. No, he wouldn't eat. He might believe it, but he's not going to eat crow. LeBron, where y'all think he's going? I'm saying either the Magic or Cleveland. I think he's at the end of his career, but Cleveland ain't got the money after signing Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. Yeah, Kentucky is interested, but so is a lot of other teams. Crash is right. I hear his name mentioned quite a bit. Where they go get their money from, Otis? What is okay, so last Thursday I went Sunday to the Summer League. Let me check out. All right, I got to see the Suns and Pelicans. Okay, here, Cleveland. Oh, Chaz Lanier looked really good for the Pistons. Remember Chaz Lanier from Tennessee? That's funny. Yeah, me too. I did get to see Kobe Bryant just for a minute because he was on the other floor. He played 31 minutes, but he went 1 for 11, Holly. He was 0 for 7 from 3, but he still played 31 minutes, although he was 1 of 11. So I think that's a good sign. Yeah, see, I'm not a Philly fan. I'm a Celtics fan, and I hated the trade with Jaylen Brown. I feel like the Celtics had to trade Jaylen Brown. They've tried to trade him 2 summers in a row now. He was starting to get vocal, starting to chirp a little bit. He's starting to feel unappreciated, which I don't know why the Celtics would want to trade him other than maybe they can't afford 2 max contracts, and they've decided they're going to keep Tatum over Brown, which I can't say I blame them. However, I do like the fact that Celtics got some draft picks, but that was a dumb trade. Why trade him to somebody in your division? Somebody that you're going to have to play 7 or 8 times with some motivation. If we had our choice, I'd really like to get this guy Baco over Huendo, just because Baco is a big man, and I think that's a position we need. Yeah, I'm a Bill Simmons fan too. Of course, I know he's a Boston fan, but there was a lot of Boston fans that just couldn't believe it. And I usually like to say I trust Brad Stevens, but hey, you know who got 4 minutes on the Phoenix Suns tonight? Hold up. The day I went, I didn't see him play and didn't even recognize him, wasn't in. Do you know who got 4 minutes? Devin Askew. He's got to be 27. He played 7 years in college. Josh, that was rumored early on, but I haven't heard nothing else about that. I'm not a big NBA fan either. Sources. Only time I watch it's playoff time, but I am a Celtics fan, so I will watch them in the playoffs. And I couldn't have been more upset with how this year ended. But how in the world is Devin Askew getting on an NBA Summer League? His agent's good. I did get to see Hunter Dickinson for the Pelicans. I'm not a Hunter fan, but I did get to watch him play. The best player for the Pelicans was Malik Dia. Do you remember Malik Dia? Let me see what else. There's somebody else I know I saw that. Chaz Lanier was really, really good. Xavion Lee played too. I didn't see him, but I'll look as I go through these rosters here. Onyenso had like 5 blocks, 8 rebounds, 5 points, hit a 3. Onyenso looked good. He's the one that kept blocking a lot of Cleveland shots when they attacked the basket. But I'm going to tell you all right now, Okori is going to be good. Says he's playing for the Trailblazers. Okori's going to be good, and Ibuka Okori and Chaz Lanier. Chaz Lanier scored 25 on 7 of 12 from 3. Least favorite Kentucky players to watch: Askew, Wheeler, Keon. They would definitely probably be in my list as well. Briscoe did so many things well, but he always do that one dumb play that would just piss you off. I like Briscoe. I think TBT ought to get him. I got to see the Thunder and the Warriors. Let's see who Mara had 10 and 9. Yeah, I don't think Andy's going to back off of this. And I heard why. And they talked about it on the happy hour. And I didn't know this. And I'm actually an Andy fan. We're not going to talk about politics. But I actually like this because they say that Kentucky is letting teachers go and saying they don't have money to hire them, but yet they're going out getting all these private investments and donors for Mitch. So I hope he stays on it. I mean, even if it was my least favorite governor, Matt Bevin, I hope he would stay on it as well, and that'd be something I'd agree with him on. But, $3.2 million to Mitch, come on. All right, Holly, I think you were asking. Bennett Sturts played 26 minutes. He had 13 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 2 assists, no turnovers. So we know that guy don't turn the ball over a lot. Buddy Boeheim still shot the ball really well. Lamar Wilkerson had 3 points on 1 of 4 from the 3. I'll tell you who I really liked was that Peyton Sanford. Did he play for Iowa too? Peyton Sanford, was he the guard that really shot the ball that played with Bennett Sturts? I can't remember. Or maybe Creighton or somewhere, but he really could shoot the ball. All right, let's look at the Trailblazers here. I did not get to see them play, but Orlando Magic had Ty Washington. I didn't get to see Ty play, but he did have 12 points. Three turnovers, 7. Hey, Ty, listen to this line. 12 points, 6 boards, 7 assists, 4 steals. Good line for Ty, which I'm a fan of Ty. I stayed hot in Vegas, Icon. 113 on one day, 111, 110, 104, 100. They said it was a cool front moving in at 91. I died. Thanks for stopping by, Icon. I appreciate you, brother. Andrew Carr started 7 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, +5. I'm happy for Andrew Carr. I really liked him. I really, really liked him. Then the last game I got to see was the Clippers and Jazz. I'll tell you who looked good. Baba Miller looked good from UC. Wagler looked really good. I'll tell you who I liked that came off the bench for the Clippers was Nick Martinelli. You're talking about a guy with a motor that played extremely hard, that could knock down shots, finish. I was really good. I was a really big fan of Andrew Carr. But Nick Martinelli looked really good. Sean Padula didn't look bad in the minutes he got. For Utah, of course, Darren Peterson looked really good, but he only shot 6 of 18. He got to the free throw line 8 times. But what I did like, they're letting Ace Bailey play in the summer league, and that kind of shocked me for the Jazz. Otis, he was 3 points, 2 points, 1 of 11 from the field, 0 of 7 from 3 when I watched. So he's had to have he's doing really good in the summer league. 1 of 11, 0 of 7 from 3 for 2 points. You could tell that Darren Peterson's going to be really, really good. But I thought Utah's second best player, I thought that night was Jonas Adu. If you remember him from Tennessee, I think he transferred from Arkansas to Tennessee. Really big body, really physical. But I will say this, Clay, if you're on here next year, if you get a chance, try to sign up for that Coaching U clinic. I will tell you this, the school paid for mine this year because I asked them to. It's only $150 for the clinic. Everything else you're on your own. But I got to listen to pretty much every NBA coach in the league, or at least a representative. I got to listen to the Magic's NBA head coach, the Pistons NBA head coach. The rest of them were assistants, but it was worth it. Jeff Van Gundy is, you could tell the man can flat out coach. But just listen to these guys talk. It's almost like they spoke another language. Like, it was absolutely one of the best clinics I'd ever seen. I had to get my own flight. I'd heard through another school district that some schools keep money, like you know how they want teachers to do professional development. If coaches ask, they also, obviously they didn't pay for my flight, they didn't pay for my hotel. They paid $149 for the clinic, but the clinic it's actually worth more than $140. You could pay $399 to do VIP, but the VIP stayed like an hour later, and they got to talk to people in the front office. I think it was basically for people who wanted like a front office job, NIL, things like that. Of course, I didn't pay the $3.99. I just did the $149. But I would recommend going. It's only 8:30 to 12:30 or 1 o'clock every day. Then you have the rest of the day to do whatever. But it was a really nice clinic. I took a lot of notes. I'm going to type them up. I'll share with you what I got, but it was really nice. A lot of clinics I go to, I can't wait for them to get over. This one, I was kind of hoping we had another couple days. But, and I got some videos of them talking, but the sound in there was so bad. You can't really hear them. It's real echoey and sounds like they're in a well. But just being in the clinic, I will get the videos that they recorded. And if anybody wants to hear them, I'll definitely share them with you. Well worth it. Phil Beckner player development was just unreal. Their knowledge of the game was just crazy, crazy, crazy. But so, yeah, if you ever get a chance, the coaching U will always be that week of the summer league because that's when they get the coaches to come to speak to the clinic. They had a team. It was a junior college, I think. Or no, maybe it's an NAIA team out of Arizona come and kind of run the drills. That team was really, really good. I'm going to keep up with them. I think they were called Arizona. Let me look it up. It was ACU. They had some guys that could play. But they were. It was the Arizona Christian Firestorm was the name of the team that kind of ran the drills. I'm going to follow them this year. They were like 23-7 last year. Actually, when I was in Vegas, I woke up every morning at 5 p.m. local time because it was like 8 p.m. our time. Like it was hard to adjust to the time change. And that's what made it so hard to do a podcast out there. It really did because by the time I'd get home and get ready to do a podcast, I'd look at my time. I was like, it's 9 o'clock. I'm going to do a podcast. I was like, oh shit, it's 12 back home. But there was a picture. Did y'all see the picture? There's a picture like the day or two after Creasa was on the street in Lexington again. Not for sure what he was doing, but he was on the street in Lexington again. So, little disappointed in Kerr. It kind of shows you who he is. And one of the messages from those speakers were, if somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Mario took the picture, I think. Mario's always got that camera if you're around. So, but, just scamming people out of $2.2 million, saying his name was Irene, selling organs, losing the farm, mom's dying of cancer. That stuff's just Bush League right there. That's, no respect for that at all. I'm hoping it was when he was in West Virginia, and that's why they expedited him to West Virginia. I don't want them to give him. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. Heart transplant. Sorry. I said cancer. My apologies, Kerr. My apologies. Your mom's heart transplant is just as important and critical as cancer. So if you all think we ought to raise some money for the Kerr Creasa Fund, you got my Venmo up in the top left corner up there. Just hit my Venmo up there, and we'll give it to Kerr. Since he's struggling, I don't want him to lose his farm or anything. Definitely wouldn't want him to sell any organs, But it's getting down to the nitty gritty. Probably won't hear much. A lot of the UK basketball players will probably be going back home soon until August. We'll talk about the TBT as it's going on. I'll probably talk about the first game on Sunday when I do my next show. They play Saturday. And listen, him staying and leaving to go to Cincinnati has nothing to do with why I wouldn't piss in his mouth if his teeth were on fire. That is no concern to me whatsoever. It's the fact that what kind of person he is now. If he's willing to scam older people out of $2.2 million. I don't care where he went to school. And I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt or give him a free pass because he played at Kentucky. Absolutely not. If that would have been John Wall, if that would have been Karl Anthony Towns, I would be telling you the same thing. That's downright dirty. No respect for that. I hope somebody's burning Creasa up in prison in the Fayette County Detention Center League. That wouldn't hurt my feelings at all if somebody's scoring with him. He was a Kentucky player. He wore the blue and white. He was on the team, on the roster, hurt or not. He really was a UK player icon. He was on the team. Yeah, I heard it was older. They only referred to him as Victim 1 and Victim 2. At first, I thought what I first read, I thought Victim 1 was one family, and I thought Victim 2 was another family. But I'm kind of learning or reading that Victim 1 and 2 were the same family, and he scammed them. Don't know what kind of scam he ran, and I don't know how he convinced two other people. Who'd he find that had 2.2 million? They had to be, like you said, wealthy donors. I just got no. Nope, I don't have any respect for that. I won't ever look at him the same now. Speaking of JQ, he did have a successful knee injury. The Spurs say they're in no hurry to rush him back, which I think that's why he is a great fit for the Spurs. He don't have to rush. He don't have to get out there. He doesn't have to hurry back to where risk of hurting it again. He can rehab. He can take his time. He can do everything he needs to do, in my opinion, to get healthy. I really hope we get a chance to see him play in the league. I think he can. Yeah, he had a successful one. They said there's probably a chance he's not going to make it back for the start of the season, which he doesn't have to. I heard Kerr owed a lot of money back home, and his entire reason for being in the States was to make money for his debts back home, which is very possible. But, make it through NIL, make it through appearances, make it through, clean, good way. Don't be scamming people. And I know you agree with me. I was going to say, Holly better be getting that Elvis t-shirt. Good luck getting it back, Clyde. Good luck getting that back. You might have to make a conjugal visit at the Fayette County Detention Center. All right, Clyde. Hey, if it came down to you and Kerr in Redneck Brawl, could you take him? Clyde versus Kerr. Redneck Brawl. Who wins? Clyde, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you look like. Don't know what your build is, your stature. But could you take Kerr Creasa in Redneck Brawl? Bold statement. Listen, guys. Are we going to get me in Redneck Brawl or what? I got people asking me that I don't even know. You say yes or you say absolutely, but I've got 45 members. We got to get to 100. Clyde, give me your deets. What's your deets? You 6 foot, 6'2", 240. What is it? Hey, you know our guy that's always in the chat, Carl Miller, that does the Redneck Brawl. Y'all remember Carl? I saw where Carl was talking trash on somebody's promo video, and Carl was trying to get that guy to accept his challenge. It was on Facebook. Five foot 9. Holy shit. They wouldn't put Kerr in your. Hey, there's no way. I'm 5 foot 9. You would be going against Carl Miller. And Carl just whooped Sasquatch. So get on there and challenge Carl. He's looking for an opponent. My Tell her she needs to donate 55 memberships. It'd only be about $55. If you don't want to be a member, there's my Venmo. I get random Venmos occasionally from you guys. I appreciate that. Hey, listen, if Jay Bat is fundraising for your Christmas cash, you better just ask for Elvis. Hell with the shirt. Jay Bat's got Jay Bat has he's got the reputation of being able to raise money. You better get more than just an Elvis shirt or Alabama. You better get Alabama season tickets football for the rest of your life. But what I was going to say is, once the kids go back home, TBT will be over. We're probably going to go straight into football. SEC Media Days next week. I'll be watching for Kentucky. I know they're taking Mincy, their quarterback. They're taking 2 Kentucky boys, Willie Rodriguez, I think Ty Bryant, cornerback. I think that's what Drew said on Happy Hour today, which are 3. Listen, I'm excited. I am excited for Willie Rodriguez. I think the dude's a stud. Will Stein on day 1. Yeah, I plan on hopefully I can get a video of it and we can watch it. But they were talking about on Happy Hour today. I love Drew Franklin. I think he's probably one of the funniest dudes I've ever met, just kind of his quick wit, quick humor. But they were talking about the SEC Media Days today, and they put Lane Kiffin on the last day, hoping to keep everybody around because they got to, just waiting to hear what he has to say. So we'll go straight into football. And I'm not going to lie, I'm excited for football season. I'm not a football, like I said, I know football, I know the game. I couldn't coach it. I don't know it that well, but I know enough to talk it. I can have an intelligent conversation about it. But, I'm excited to see what, Will Stein's proven he can get the players now. We got to see that our players can compete. I think it was also talked about, but they were talking about, I think they were talking about basketball though on field of 76 or 8, whatever it is now. They were talking about how the SEC in basketball, is it really as good? Is it really as good as everybody says it is, or is it overhyped? They weren't sold on yeah, do it. It's a good show. Good, they do a really good job. However, I forgot to say because I was worried about Drew always has the coolest hats too. I think he gets them from that new company, the State Line company, Feed the Studs. I've reached out to them a couple times just because they asked for like podcast shows to kind of promote their brand, and I've reached out to them, but I don't think they've done any more with it yet. I just got an email from. Hold on here if you're all interested in this. Hold on here. Wednesday for me is tough. I have plans every Wednesday at 9 p.m. I could do at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. if only an hour. BBN Unfiltered has been talking back and forth. They're looking at the dates July 21st, 22nd, 23rd for their mega podcast. So if that's something you're interested in, I just put the dates in the chat. I will keep you all posted on what day I'm doing it. I'm excited about it. I always want to talk to different people. One night when I've got time, I've kind of threw this together really quick. Jimmy Jam's going to come on here with me. He's been wanting to come on, and we've been trying to work it out for weeks. Jimmy Jam actually called me in Vegas, and I couldn't answer because I was busy. But we're going to get Jimmy Jam on here one of these days when, maybe a football show or something that I need somebody to help me with. But there's the dates for the mega podcast. Jack Pilgrim, listen. Jack Pilgrim's going to have a lot of information because he's down in South Carolina for the Peach Jam. So if you don't follow Jack Pilgrim on Twitter, I recommend you doing so. And this week when he does a Sources Say, I would probably recommend watching it because he's going to have a lot of information on the guys that UK's watching, how they're playing, what they're doing. I saw where Beckham Black is now the #1 guy in that class, which I don't think that's any surprise. Beckham Black is a guy that Pope's liked for a really long time, and Pope's been on him for a long time. I don't know if Pope has a legit shot to get Beckham Black, but Pope, I hope Pope, and this is one thing I think they talked about on the happy hour today, how Pope seems to, kind of like with the Jamal Crawford, like they were asking on there, when did Pope actually know that Crawford said no and they just never say anything, or how long have they been dragging this out? And it kind of reminded me when I talked about it, kind of like the Stokes situation. Pope may have known but didn't react or whatever. But I love Sources Say. I do. Jack Pilgrim does a great job. Clyde, Holly, you all may know this since you're the mods in a lot of those. Have they replaced Jacob Paycheck yet? Right. And I'll watch a lot of it during football to get some of the news and some of the talking points here. And, but Clyde says they haven't. Okay. And maybe they haven't. And I don't know. I guess on 3 will do that hiring. That has nothing to do with Matt Jones anymore, right? Or does Matt Jones still hire because it's KSR? Or does On 3 hire because they bought? I would assume it's probably On 3, right? Some of you guys that like to write, cover sports, you ought to reach out. Some of our life situations don't allow us to do that stuff, like be on the road all the time. And, at one time I wanted to be a college recruiter when I was younger, but, then I had a family and had kids. And, once you have a family and life, but if you're somebody single and young, that's probably what I would be doing. All right. What about the World Cup, guys? Y'all been watching the World Cup? We got Argentina, Lionel Messi's last World Cup. He's in the finals against Jeff's really good. I like Jeff as well. But Argentina plays against Spain. I think Spain came in with kind of a 1A, 1B type with France, but Spain shut France out 2-0. And I'm really Tyler Thompson. Okay. I like Tyler as well. But I will say this. Yeah, I'm shocked France lost 2. Definitely 2-0. But I don't know if Argentina can beat Spain. Spain's defense is stingy. They're really good. But I will say this. I'm not counting Messi out. Tomorrow is where I'd like to see Messi have a hat trick, just go off. Let Argentina win the World Cup in his last go round. I think that would be an awesome story. Also, I honestly was watching Argentina and England. It was 1-0 past the 90th minute. I turned it off and didn't look, and I was actually talking to one of my friends as if England won. They had to let me know, and I was shocked, and I had to look it up for myself, that Argentina scored 2 goals in the last 6 minutes to win. You don't have to listen or believe or trust on 3 Icon. That's your right, your prerogative. All right. if you don't like them, not everybody is going to agree with that. But if you don't like them, don't read it. I'm not trying to promote them. I'm just saying that On 3 is kind of who bought out. And if somebody in the chat would like to possibly work, or I don't know if they're even hiring for his spot, if they're going to move somebody up or whatever, but I would love to cover sports if I had all right, here's what's nothing wrong with them. They cannot even do simple math. Okay. I'm not trying to change your mind, nor are you going to change my mind. It's cool. How old are you, Clyde? Just out of curiosity. Okay. I didn't know that. I like Zach too. Actually, I like a lot of those guys and girls. Maybe they just haven't updated. All right, yeah, 29, single, no kids. Hey. Unc. All right, Unc. I hear you. I like Zach. Me too, Amy. Me too. I'm not gonna lie. I do like a lot of the KSR people. A lot of people don't like Matt Jones. I like Matt Jones. I think a lot of it is because I see the same political side that he sees. There's a lot of times now, do I think he's a clown times? Yeah. But I think a lot of the times when you're on air, I act like a clown sometimes too. I'm a big, yeah, Holly. I might get Holly to help me get Stephen Peak on the show. I don't even know if Stephen Peak will even reply to me. Some of these guys I try to reach out to won't even reply. I will tell you this. On the Mega Podcast Show, I am excited. I get teamed up with Perry Stevenson and AJ Stewart of ARC 360. I like it. It'll be next Wednesday. They're going to put me on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And, there's a way now. There is a way that you can and I don't know how they do it, but there's a way that if I'm on their show, I can also stream it on mine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll put out Twitter things and Facebook things. Once again, if you want to see my Twitter, it's down there in the bottom right-hand corner. At PT Kelch is my personal one. That's the one I've really, check now. Ryan, I don't know anybody named Ryan. I think it's Travis or Thompson. What's her name? I just said it. Tyler Thompson. I think it's Tyler. Tyler Thompson, I think. Is that who you're talking about, Icon Tyler? Holly, if Steven will reply to you, let's get him on the Stay Hot podcast. I'm really, really flexible. I got some lady that works for the Indiana Fever coming on sometime. She's messaged with me 2 or 3 times. We're trying to figure out her schedule, but I don't know when that'll be, if that'll even come to fruition, but at least she is replying back. Caleb Wilson. All right, I may reach out there then. But a lot of times I reach out on Twitter through DMs or whatever. A lot of times the guys read it. They just don't. A lot of people just don't come on. I'm still young. I'm still new. They probably don't trust me yet. They don't know if I'm going to be, maybe put them on the spot. I don't know. But somebody like Tyler, it wouldn't be anything like that. I'm going to do my best. Yeah, that would be cool. I'd like to see some of that stuff. I'm a sucker for that stuff. I love it. Yeah, I like the Interrupted too. Didn't he do one with Myron? It just seems like, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems like everything that Matt Jones touches turns to gold. Like when he got involved with OVW, they got a Netflix Netflix documentary, I should say, not a documentary, but a documentary. The KS bar went really well. I mean, I knew that would be hard to sustain in the summer when there's nothing going on, but game days, the atmosphere was electric. So, I still watch OVW. I don't know how many of y'all do, but I watch it on Thursday nights on YouTube. OVW's channel on YouTube streams it. I love listening to Matt Myron on ESPN. I agree. Sometimes it's kind of funny to listen to Matt talk NFL stuff. It's almost like a lot of times he reads it right on the show or that moment, and it seems like he knows when, Paxton. He sold OVW, I think, or he's out of that. Did they sell the restaurant to somebody? Oh yeah, that's tough because that would have been nice to see. Yeah, and I think sometimes, Paxton, it's a skill of knowing when to get out. Sometimes you go, like, for example, Calipari. If he'd got out when he knew he should have got out after 10 years, he'd be beloved. And he will be beloved again soon, but not while he's the enemy. But hell, if he was able to sell the store, sold it to walk-ons. What's walk-ons? Oh, you talking about that slapping competition? He knocked him out cold. Mahabali Shira is a man. Mahabali Shira is a man, a beast, man-child. We ought to call him half man, half amazing, like Vince Carter. Or, like Kenneth Fareed, the manimal, half man, half animal. Yeah, I saw that clip. I mean, he slumped him. Jake, what's walk-ons? What is that? Is that another brand? Is that another store? What is walk-ons? Did you all see where Kentucky Branded is closing all their brick stores? Yes, I can't wait, man. I'm pumped. I've already told the people in the chat Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Hopefully, when we get all them to show up. What I would like to figure out how to do is, I want to stream it on your channel, but I can also stream it on mine somehow. People are doing that now, just so the people that subscribe to me, we can get them, kind of get more listeners, more viewers. There's Laura. Hi, how are you? Your best. Okay. So are they sticking to the plan, Jake, of just opening it up on game days? I'm going to look it up on Google too. But if not, we'll just stream it on yours. I'm okay with that. I'll share it on all my socials. Most of these guys will show up. We're excited. I played some Call of Duty with Perry Stevenson back in the day, so he may not remember it, but I do. I was a fan of Perry. The Tilted Kilt sold too? I did not know that. Clyde, do you know Laura? Laura's my sister-in-law. Do you know her? I don't know. I don't know where you're from, Clyde, so you may know her. We do have people from southeastern Kentucky on here. You're going to miss the hot women from the Tilted Kilt? Appreciate you, Keeper. Appreciate you, my man. All right. Yeah, that's nice. I was hoping we would get our Louisville I was hoping we would get our Louisville guy on here tonight. Anthony, is that his name? Anthony Eason? I was hoping to get on here and talk some trash with him about the TBT, but I don't know how much trash I can talk when I think we're going to lose. Who is going to shoot the most three-pointers this year? I'm going to say Milan Momcilovic, just because Pope has said he wants him to shoot 10 threes a game. Now, Frank Kepnong. So, Josh, Captain Crash seems to think Frank Kepnong is going to shoot the most threes. Well, I mean, in all honesty, Source, it would be hard to maintain that and all the expenses of summer when there's nothing UK going on, right? I mean, even I'd say the first couple years it was hard to maintain when it was still going and still excited. I know every time I went to Lexington, I stopped in. I watched an LSU football game there when we won. There was as many LSU people in the bar that night as there was Kentucky. So the atmosphere was great. Hey, keeper, do Clyde a solid and unblock him. We're all about second chances here. I can't wait to see Big Frank play. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Yeah, if he stays healthy, Holly, Crash is predicting he shoots the most threes. So I'm not so sure how UK will play if Frank's out there shooting threes, but, you know. All right, guys. Just to kind of show you, Wildcat, come on, man. Second chances. If you don't, I'm good with it. If you don't, you got your reasons, but Clyde asked, so if you don't, no problem. Austin, I've got to keep Clyde from fighting with everybody on this show. If you mention ill will towards John Calipari, he's ready to put them claws out. I couldn't believe this, but when I started doing the trading cards, when I talked about doing the Stay Hot Ops trading cards, I had people reach out to me and ask about buying some of these. I don't know yet. Don't know what the plan is. I do know that I enjoy doing them. I do know that I got them in the mail. For example, this is the actual card. It's Pukin Pat, if you remember Pat Kelsey. It's got the Pope tarts on there. So that was Pukin Pat. I've got 2 sets of these. I've only done the first 5. I got 10 in the series, remember. Here's Wrong Way Right. It's got him thinking about choosing Kentucky, but went to BYU, so I called it Wrong Way Right. Thought that was kind of clever. In Dusty, No Trusty. Remember, we lost trust in Dusty when he started negatively recruiting against Cal. It's got a clipboard over here that says Dirty Recruiting, Jump Ship. And it's got the Stay Hot logo on the back of his chair. Dusty, he turned guys away from Kentucky. Then he jumped to the Dallas Mavericks, which I thought was kind of a crappy thing. Always shout out to BB Unfiltered. They're doing good. Hey, listen, they're doing good work. This mega podcast is going to be great. Hope you guys find time to tune in. Also got the Stokes hoax. When Tyron Stokes led us on keeper. They're actually the real card. They're just in a case just to kind of protect them, but they feel just like a baseball card. Although I feel like Mark Pope's as much to blame over the Stokes hoax, but I got the Stokes hoax here. I got Tyron Stokes picking up the Kentucky hat with his fingers crossed over here. It says checks over stripes. Then behind Stokes, I got the actual Mo Williams tweet where he says, "Let's go." I thought that was pretty cool to add that. And, my 5th and final one right now, and I actually got this on a shirt. Let me go. Hold on a minute. This one right here is, I'm back now, but everyone talks amongst yourselves. This right here is Con John. It's got John Calipari ripping up his lifetime contract. On his briefcase, he's got promises and excuses with stacks of money. I called this Con John. But I actually got that on a shirt because I liked the design so much. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it actually turned out pretty good. Kind of hard to see. I wish I could get. You could see, kind of get the idea, but I'm going to put the other cards on the store too. I'm probably going to have a shirt with all of them on it. If that's something that I'm not going to lie. I was kind of surprised at the store. While I was in Vegas, I think I sold like 7 items. The item that's going most is the black T-shirt that just says "Stay Hot." Let me see if I can find it here. And a lot of people seem to like it. I thought it was kind of plain, but I like plain at times, so it's all good. The thing was, I'm not gonna lie, do a shirt for the Banner Boys. You tell me what you want on it, and I'll design the shirt. Actually, I don't know if they'd let me. I don't know if they'd want me to. I don't know. I could probably do it because it's not copyrighted or nothing. I can make my own, but I could probably just do a banner. Oh, a card for the Banner Boys. Okay. I can do that. If they would take it the right way. I don't want them to I might not make it a negative one. I may just make a good one about the Banner Boys, because if you remember now, a lot of the people they put on that sheet didn't come to fruition, and we're kind of glad, right? Rob Wright screwed us. That's why he's an op. He dicked us around, and yeah, we did. Hey, we did get Zoom Diallo. He was on a banner, and they did make one for Milan. I just don't know. I don't know if they're ops or not. I think they had good intentions, Holly. But if you remember when they did that, do you remember the excitement of Big Blue Nation just by doing that? I mean, everybody was excited. We had football players. Willie Rodriguez drove over there and got a picture in front of it. If you remember, also, was it McLean and was it who was it at the time? McLean? It wasn't Jason Hart. He'd already left, I think. I agree. I don't know if I would do them as ops, but I will make a card for them, and I may send it to them for free. If the first series is just ops, 1 through 10 will be ops. Then I'll do some allies. But, my next card I'm making is probably going to be Trader Jake instead of Trader Jack. Oh, no, it was Mo Williams. Was it? I think it would be funny. I don't know how they would take it to be funny, but we'll see. I may reach out to them and ask them. Okay. It was Mo Williams and McLean that drove by, and they had I think it was Donnie Freeman maybe that they had on the or they had somebody on the phone and showing them, FaceTiming. I just remember it was excitement. I know we didn't end up landing any. We did get Zoom Diallo. They did have a banner for Milan. But if you think about it though, Holly, we actually got better by not getting the players that were on the banner. But I may reach out to them to see how they feel about it. But this is the shirt right here that is selling really well, which kind of shocks me. This is the one I'm probably wearing to the event in Louisville tomorrow. I don't think I'll wear my John Calipari Con John shirt to that. I'll probably just wear this one here. But I was kind of surprised that I've had just as many females order this one as males. So I don't know if they think it means something different. But yeah, I got the store pinned on the bottom or top of the chat. I'm not sure which. go support the store there. Support the Stay Hot podcast. Let's get my name out there. I think you might even be able to find deals, I think, where they're 16 and not 24. So I think when I got them, they were $16. Even I have to pay for them. But, that's part of it. Oh, if Holly would give me a picture of her, I would put a picture of her on a shirt and just say "still hot." Yes. And maybe have her friends throwing back shots in the background, celebrating Holly. I mean, Holly won't even add me on social, so I have no idea what she looks like. I don't have any idea what Crash looks like. I wish you all would go to this thing in Louisville tomorrow so I can meet all of y'all. Or somebody put one together in Lexington and I'll drive there. Lexington's an hour closer to me than Louisville. I'm driving 2 hours to be there because I want to meet everybody. I need to get me some Stay Hot business cards and showing them how to subscribe and just dropping them places. But Vegas took all my time. I haven't really been on the ball. I needed a vacation, although it was a work trip because I got to do the clinic. However, I still was able to have a little bit of fun. I still enjoyed it. So if you noticed, did you all see watch KSR comment today when somebody asked how it was, whatever, they said staying hot? Did you all notice that? Stop it. Stop it. I mean, y'all could even message me privately and give me y'all's names if y'all don't want everybody to know, but I would like to know who y'all are. I mean, listen, this is no joke. Georgetown's closer to me too, so if he wanted to go live at 1, then drive to Georgetown at 4:30, I'm all for it. Hell, if y'all want to stay and party in Louisville tomorrow, I'll stay and party with y'all in Louisville tomorrow after the show. I don't care. I'm ready to get down. Tore up from the floor up. And if y'all remember, I may wear my pink hat, my pink cowboy hat. You never know. But yeah, definitely like to get some pictures with you guys and meet all you guys. Crash seems to be like kind of a Crash seems to kind of like doesn't want anybody to know his identity. Holly's kind of the same way. They're kind of sneaky. I love them and glad they're hearing on my side, but they're kind of sneaky. Khalil Whitney is still in. 2 hours ago at 9:40, Khalil Whitney was still in the craft center getting up shots. Well, you probably gained an hour, lost an hour, done something with that time change. It probably hell, how are we gonna know it's you? You won't tell us your real name. You won't. I mean, I'm sure you got Facebook and Twitter, but you won't tell nobody. Holly's all secretive, won't tell nobody. Somebody said Holly wasn't even her real name. Who knows? I feel like I'm being catfished in my own chat. I don't really have a Facebook or Twitter. I think you do. I think you told me one time you did. I don't believe a word you say in reference to Holly. Just like when you say she's out with her friends throwing back shots. Holly told me not to believe that nonsense. Said you're a liar. I really thought I could trust you, Crash, but Holly said you lie. So take it out with Holly. Or Darlene, I should say. Or is Darlene Irene? Is Darlene Irene scamming people out of money? Maybe that's Kurt Creasa. Maybe that I'd want to be secretive too. I don't believe her name's Darlene. Oh, Wildcat of the Mountains. He's chiming in here. I would believe him. I would really like to follow you guys. I mean, I seriously feel like I know some of you guys better than I know my neighbors. I'm in witness protection. Hey, Holly, I got something for you. Hold on. I got something for Holly. Holly says she's in witness protection. I ain't buying that. Crash is doxing me. Report him. It's against the law. Doxing is against the law. Report him. I would just like to put a name with the face, Crash. I'm not going to stalk you. I'm not going to go down your face. I just would like to be able to put names with faces. Like Clyde added me on Facebook. Here was Ryan Hampton's quote on KSR for those. I'm very happy because I know I made the right decision. I mean, Kentucky's like no other. They're preparing me on how to be a man on and off the court. I think that's a comment you want to hear from the guy that's committed in your 27 class. I'm really, 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 really happy with I'm really, 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 really happy with Ryan Hampton and his you know, and I think it's total BS that, you know, and we've talked about this, but I can't get it out of my mind. I'm totally over the fact that let me see. You ought to be able to search that Wildcat keeper. Yeah, but you can't be number 6 in the class, commit to Kentucky, and drop. I mean, we've talked about it. I get upset thinking about it. I'm not going to lie. I get upset thinking about it just for the simple fact that I think it's something against Kentucky. Harlan County, the Black Bears of Harlan County. Trent Noah. Trent Noah, was it Trent Noah against Travis Perry in the state finals 3-4 years ago? That was a really good game. 2 really good players battling it. Did you see Travis Perry's? Did y'all see his comments today? I'll share them with you. And this is something that we've probably known to be true. I mean, Perry says you got to make hard decisions to get to great places in your life, and that's what I had to do. But he says up here, when you make a decision like that, especially when it's such a big fan base like Kentucky's, there's going to be speculation, Perry said. You're getting DMs, you're getting comments, all that stuff. And Joey, whoever did the interview with him, Joey Dwyer, says that that he opened up and said it was probably the most difficult decision of his life. So I'll be honest with you. I will root for Travis Perry now that he's at Dayton. I wouldn't go root for him at Ole Miss, although I never claimed that Ole Miss was relevant. However, but I will root for him. He definitely it had definitely had something to do with him being a starter and playing time, no doubt. But I can't blame him. I can't blame him. If you're going to college and you're 10th man on an 8-man rotation, it's a Is everybody there? Come back. Come back. Is everybody there? Huh? Guys, note to self, if you can hear me. Note to self. Holly? All right. Note to self. Do not kick the power strip when you move your foot to knock power off your computer. Yeah, and honestly, I don't think anybody leaves to go somewhere else expecting to start, but I think they go to places where they know if they compete, they can start. That's what I think. You know what? He started some games at Ole Miss in the SEC. Started some games at Kentucky, if you remember. So last year, if you want to know the truth, Perry would have got a lot of minutes at Kentucky last year after Lowe got hurt. Is that right? You all agree? Sorry about I don't think I'm live. Let me get my Oh, you don't even understand, old Wildcat. That time change has an old man down. But I had to show up tonight. I've missed you guys. I mean, in all honesty, somebody messaged me. Guys, listen, we only got 17 likes. Get on it. We lost a lot of viewers there that probably thought I was going home, but I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about the views. Let me get me out on. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I think that's why he chose Ole Miss, Holly. They were really on him at high school. I think it came down to Perry or Kentucky and Ole Miss. And if you remember, Perry was at the actual, I guess, Mark Pope introduction, the thing at Rupp Arena. He was out in the stands, and Pope called him out, and he stood up, and so. I don't, Icon. I'm gonna have to disagree, and that's just okay. We're allowed to do that. You don't get to the D1 level without wanting to compete. Sometimes it's about opportunities. If you got a chance to go somewhere and play more, you're not going to do that? Come on now. Travis Perry's chances of playing in the NBA are slim and none, and Slim just walked out the door. He's going to go somewhere where he can play. I don't think for 1 minute that he left because he didn't want to compete. No, you're saying he didn't want to compete. Not buying that. I think that's the easy way out, is to say, oh, they transferred because they didn't want to compete for minutes. He didn't want to compete for playing time. He wasn't going to play the same position as Aberdeen if Flo don't get hurt. So why would he be competing with Aberdeen? Aberdeen wasn't a point guard. They didn't want to play Aberdeen at the point. I know he ended up playing the point. Yeah, and that's the thing. And I think that's the one thing he talked about in that interview. When you're from Kentucky and you wear the blue and white, some fans think it's okay to get on you more or harder because you're from Kentucky. I don't blame Travis Perry for 1 minute, nor do I think he left Kentucky because he didn't want to compete for minutes. He's going to have to compete for minutes at Ole Miss, was he not? Ole Miss is SEC. I'm not thinking for 1 minute that he's. But, you know, that's just me. Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting. Hold on, let me save this picture. I don't listen. You can't fault the kid for wanting to do what's best for them. You can't. You can't fault the kid for wanting to do what's best for him. He may have competed at Kentucky and sat his ass on the bench. How is that better than going to Ole Miss and playing? Yeah, they're going to keep him on the roster until they say that he can't play. You know, technically he's practicing with them and things. All right, let me get this. Hold on here. And of course, we know this because we follow Kentucky and it's no big secret. But look at this. All this hate that Pope gets. Look at this. These are coaches. I guess it says the class of 25. So I guess this was their first, you know, they've had 2 years, top 20 wins. Look, Pope has double the amount of the next closest person, which is Byington and Calipari. I mean, and we knew that Pat Kelsey didn't have any. We knew that. We knew Pat Kelsey didn't have any. Coach Kelsey, what do you think about the fact that, is it true, or do you have 0 top 20 wins at Louisville? What do you think? Does a fat baby fart? Do ducks swim in circles? Does a fat puppy hate fast cars? And this is what I'm saying. He played big minutes in the SEC finals, Icon. Ole Miss made the SEC tournament championship, didn't they? He played well in the SEC tournament. Him on the floor is doing better than sitting the bench. That's why players are leaving now. Yeah, he had 8. You're right. That was a record. Is the Dolphins' ass watertight? Hey, that's what Kelsey would answer. He answers questions with questions. I've watched a lot of his press conferences. He don't look as good in his glasses as I do in mine. I'd like to say I could challenge Pat Kelsey in redneck brawl, but he'd literally whoop my ass. I ain't afraid to admit it. But I'd like, hey, you know what? Mark it down. July 17th, 12:02 a.m. Coach Patrick Kelsch has as many top 20 wins as Pat Kelsey. Get it. Hey, bracketology. No, we weren't in the top 20, were we? It says 0, and I've always heard 0, so maybe it's teams that finish in the top 20, Crash. I think, hey, and isn't there a stipulation like teams that finish? We never got past 25. I know we started the year, I think, kind of high. But listen, guys, I don't know if you all follow 801 Bracketology on Twitter, but I ain't liking them. They currently have Louisville as a 2 seed and Kentucky as a 7 seed. Here's their ones. All right. Their ones are Florida, Duke, Houston, Illinois. Their 2s are Arizona, Virginia. So when we go to Virginia and whip their rear end in the ACC SEC Challenge, that'll be a good win. Louisville a 2. What? Whenever I say Louisville, you ought to be putting L's down. Texas is a 2. They got Tennessee, Iowa State, Arkansas, and Alabama as 3s. So he's got 5 SEC teams already better than Kentucky. This dude's a hater. Then somebody calls him out and he says, I have absolutely no hate for Kentucky. And somebody says, why are they so low? Here is his reasoning. They are so low because 1, Mark Pope, 2, roster construction. I just called him out. I said, lazy answer, 801. Lazy answer. I think they have to finish the year in the top 20. I really do. Mark Pope is the reason they're a 7 seed. He's got more top 20 wins than any other. I mean, he's got 12, and the next closest one is 6 in the last 2 years. I haven't seen the new rankings, Josh, but I'm thinking probably they'll start out around the 15, 16 range, maybe 12. Everybody's talking about Beckham Black. I mean, here's the thing. We got some people in our own fan base hating on Pope, and I think he's put together a hell of a roster this year. Am I wrong? I don't get it. Am I wrong? That's absolutely crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'm. Yeah, if we could beat Patino and Cal every year, I'd be happy, and Pat Kelsey. But we're gonna start out whipping Bill Self this year, so that'll be another top 20 win. So go ahead and put that in your pipe and smoke at 801. I'd like to bring 801 on this show and give him hell, but I ain't going to tonight. It's almost past my bedtime. I can't believe I kicked my power button on the surge protector. I agree with that. It don't matter what level either. High school, middle school, college, professional. It doesn't matter what level. Preseason rankings are nonsense. They're subjective. They're good talking points, but they mean absolutely nothing. I mean, we're definitely gonna have the schedule if we play well, we can get a 2 or 3. Our non-conference schedule's pretty tough. Our conference schedule's tough. We're gonna have the resume, but we're gonna have to play. Can Kentucky beat John Calipari in Rupp Arena? Yes. It's not can, it's when. When Kentucky beats him. Yeah, listen, Jake. I love video games. I've had a regular Nintendo. I've had N64, Sega Genesis, Xbox, PlayStations. PlayStation's my favorite. I had a 4. I didn't upgrade to the 5. Just with kids and life and coaching and teaching, I didn't want to spend all that money but I love playing games. I'd love to play a season on college football or Madden or, if they do an NCAA basketball or, I used to be pretty good at video games. I like the first person shooter games. I really loved like Battlefield Bad Company. I really like, appreciate you stopping by, Icon. Much love, brother. I knew I wouldn't have a chance to play it. So I didn't buy one, but yeah, I absolutely love them. All right, here it is. I'll put in the link for you. Tuesday, July 21st, Mega Podcast Day 1. You got loyal BBN fans, Cats Chat Pod, and State 26868. I've never heard of those last two, but that is your day 1 slate. I'm going to give it a retweet. BBN Unfiltered's doing a live remote show tomorrow at 4:30 in Georgetown. Yeah, I don't know if I can swing that. I might stay in Louisville and party. All right, Bluegrass State of Mind, 3 college roommates keeping it real, talking sports life, wild stories, and all the trending topics you don't want to miss. All right, I can get behind that. I sent them a follow. Cats Chat Pod. Oh, look, I listed those. It put it all as one. I guess you can't list. I should have spaced. But anyway, you got loyal BBN fans, Catch Chat Pod and State 26868. Catch Chat Pod is Kentucky Sports Faith Family Food, where Kentucky sports come alive. Will you get to go to any games in Rupp this year, Josh? Will you be going to Rupp Arena? Rupp Arena. Rupp Arena. Rupp Arena. I hope I see a lot of people tomorrow. I hope I do. Make sure you come up and introduce yourself. I'll have the black shirt on that says "Stay Hot." I'm going to leave about 10 o'clock my time. That gets me down there about 12:30. Maybe 12:15 if I hammer it. If I don't get a damn ticket on 64. I meant to ask, why shouldn't I eat meat? Yeah, I saw her comment. Josh says, I want to go to Rupp Arena for Kentucky Wildcat game. Go Cats. Go Cats. His reply, try telling that. Okay, so he put Mark Pope roster construction. I said, Mark Pope seems to be doing okay, and I put the coaching ladder picture. And I said, lazy answer, 801. He said, try telling to any group of UK fans. I host a podcast, and I'm live right now. I'm talking to a group of fans. Your reasoning is bogus. Don't be eating lettuce from Taco Bell and you're good. Listen, they'll know me. I say my name. I'm PK in the place to be. I went to Morehead State University. That's what I'm going to tell them. No, you know what I used to say when I was in college? They'd ask who I was, and I'd say, I'm PK, short and stocky, shaved head, loudmouth. You can spot me. I'd rap everything I said. They used to get a kick out of it. I can't do it like I used to. Short and stocky, shaved head, loudmouth. You can spot me. I think that describes me accurately. I won't know a lot of you all because I don't get to see your faces, but you'll know me. Ooh, damn. Yeah, that would turn me off too. But I can tell you all this. When Rupp Arena hosts the state tournament, the Sweet 16, of course, I think Rupp Arena is a great host. But as coaches, we get access to a hospitality room. And the hospitality room usually consists of stale popcorn, stale pretzels, and flat pop. Their hospitality room definitely needs to be revamped, upgraded. But mainly, usually, I'm not going to lie, usually I went to the hospitality room to watch. They had a big screen TV down there, so I'd go down and watch the NCAA tournament games while I was waiting for the next high school game to start. I ain't seen Mark Maggard in a while. I heard the mouse poop does add protein, Crash. It's a good source of protein. So, yeah, I can understand that. If you dip it in some nacho cheese, popcorn and nacho cheese, you're probably not going to notice any difference, right? Ooh. Somebody just quote tweeted 801 when he put Mark Pope in roster construction. This guy's going to lose his account for this. He says, if your parents heard the gunshot go off in the basement, they cheer. That's bad news, guys. That's bad news. That's a Kentucky fan saying that. That is absolutely bad news. Oh yeah, like oh, perfect. Probably like chocolate sprinkles. They probably did it on purpose to crash. Big Blue Madness. Let me get you a date for that, Josh. I tried to win tickets for through Mark Pope on Twitter, but he didn't like my story. He wanted us to talk as a player, wanted us to tell a story about a coach and something they made us do. And we used to have to run up this big hills, Graveyard Hill. We had to dodge tombstones and markers and everything to run up straight up a hill. It was tough. I'm not seeing a date yet for Big Blue Madness. I don't even know if they've set one up, Josh. As soon as I see one, I'll talk about it in the show, and you're always here. So, I might even do a giveaway for members and give them free Big Blue Madness tickets. That's what I might do. Do a giveaway. I know on here we haven't talked about the UK women near enough, but once they start playing, I'll probably talk about them more. I love watching women's basketball, no matter what level it is. Obviously, I coach it, but those girls are going to be good. Kenny Brooks is flat getting it done. Kenny Brooks probably has the best job in America at a school like Kentucky. Everybody's giving Pope hell. They don't even know who Kenny Brooks is when they see him out on the streets, probably. All right, I got about 15 more minutes in me. I stayed on here longer than I have, but I really have missed you guys. Not been on here since what, last Sunday? No, last Wednesday. So it's been a week. Yeah, that's too long. I mean, you don't have to tell me exactly, but where does Brooks live in Lexington? Masterson Station. Appreciate you, Josh. Appreciate you, brother. Always coming in, always showing up. Make sure, listen, I don't like having to remind you, but make sure you go like and subscribe. We usually have a lot more likes than we do at this time right now. Let's get her done. I know I lost a lot of people on the power outing, but yeah, we've only got 20 likes, guys. Come on. Come on. I'll have to figure out how to I'll have to figure out how to change the title name to let people know that don't leave on the power outage. See if anything's going on in Twitter world. If not, Clay's Mill. Yeah, I know where Clay's Mill's at. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Honestly, that's awesome. I haven't had any new subscribers in a couple days, guys. If there's anybody new here in the chat, make sure you like and subscribe. I know we lost. Was up to about 80 viewers. We lost a lot on the power surge, which is okay. But no, sir, I'm done at 12:30. Clyde, hard stop. You got to remember, I got to get up and drive Louisville tomorrow. It's a 2-hour drive for me. I got to be fresh. Is there anybody that is less domesticated than Matt Jones? Not tonight, brother. Not tonight. honestly, I was talking to old Wildcat from the mountains before I got on here. It was just me and him in the chat before I went live. And, I can just feel the jet lag. Like I feel like it's, I still feel like it's 9:30. I'll have trouble sleeping and getting to sleep, but I've got to be fresh to drive all the way to Louisville tomorrow. But he's like, just talk about your Vegas trip. I want to hear how it went. I want to see everything, blah, blah, blah. Then get off, end it. I'm like, all right, well, that's what I'm saying. Like changing light bulbs, like keeping stuff in his car, like not being able to hang a picture frame. They seriously, if they did a live segment of Matt Jones in the wild, it would kill. Like Matt Jones trying to change a tire, Matt Jones just changing windshield wipers, Matt Jones hanging picture frames, Matt Jones changing a light bulb, Matt Jones going to the store and just shopping for the utensils he needs. Listen, I would watch it. I would watch it for sure. I would watch it for sure. Yeah, I might pitch it to Matt and just tell him I'll film it. Put it on my channel if he don't want to. He talked about difficulty owning a pool. I thought, yeah, man, it's kind of tough. Cleaning, shocking, winterizing. And then he mentioned having to always call a pool guy. Yeah, like, can you imagine if you lived near Matt Jones? Him alone would keep you in business. If you were a handyman that he could trust, like, it's crazy. Matt Jones would pay you to do anything. But, of course, he's done well for himself. He's got the money to do it, Hats off to Matt. Matt, oh my gosh, can you imagine? Or Matt Jones pitching a tent in the wild. Get your minds out of the gutter. Matt Jones setting up a tent. How about that? Make Matt Jones be a fan back at Tent City. Make him arrive at 5 a.m., put up his tent. Oh, listen, I think we're on to something. How many Matt Joneses does it take to change life? More than one. How can, but how can somebody be, he's uber intelligent. Like the law, is he still teaching a class at Georgetown or is he done with that? Does anybody know? Has he talked about that? Oh, listen. I think it's a hit. Mario can do the filming, the editing. Mario's talented with the camera. Just do one 15-minute, 20-minute segment a week, and it would crush. Oh, like Matt cooking. He can't cook. Have him prepare and cook a meal. That would be so awesome. My mind thinks a lot better at nighttime. That's why I stay up so late. I'll reach out to him and see if I can get him to reply. Oh, that's great. Peanut, where you been, my man? What are you talking about Mario for? Do I have ADHD? Absolutely. I was a poster child for it before it became a thing. Absolutely. How many times you see me reading something, go to something else and back and forget what I'm saying? That's all because my mind's going 1,000 miles an hour trying to get everything. Where's this coming from, Peanut Butter Posse? Peanut Butter Posse. Am I going to see you in Louisville tomorrow for Loyal BBN Fan Show? I think me and Jake are probably the only two going. Holly, do I need to swing by Richmond and pick you up? Crash can be at your house. I'll pick you both up. I'll be your Uber. Listen, Mario Matlin, not Luigi, the guy for KSR that runs the video editing. We're trying to get Matt Jones a reality channel of him just doing daily adult stuff that he can't do and just watch him try to figure it out. That would be absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Hey, listen, 4 more minutes. That gets me right at 3 hours even. I know, but he could surely take time to laugh at Matt Jones. My gosh. Adulting. Oh, perfect. Perfect. I'll tell you what else. I'd like to have a 24-hour cam on Ryan Lemon. That time he missed those 5-foot putts or whatever, and he had to spend 5 days in jail at KS Bar. My gosh. Oh, I love. Yeah, me too. Oh, I know why you're saying that. Never mind. Oh, I also read somewhere on Twitter, and I saw something on YouTube made me think about it. I hear that Braden Hawthorne is struggling. Has anybody else heard that? That's just a report on Twitter. I'm not seconding it. I'm not, I'm just asking if anybody else has heard that. We did see a clip in the highlights of him making a 3-pointer, but, like I said, nobody misses shots in highlights unless you're dunking it. Oh, do you all, Love Line with the Lemons. Speaking of, do you all follow Amanda Lemon? What in the world, or Amanda, whatever? What is going on? She speaks in so many codes. I'm assuming, I know she hates the boys of KSR. She talks about them all the time, but she speaks in code. But let me ask you all this. Did you all watch that Lemon Love Lines or whatever that time that they're laying in bed and Drew comes out from the middle of them? Drew Franklin, he's underneath the blanket of him in the middle. Oh, that was great. I want him to be. I want him to be. The good thing is we have people in practice he can go against to get better. He's going to have to develop this year, maybe against some teams on our non-conference schedule that we should dismantle. I don't know. I think he's going to have time to develop. I think he's a hard worker. He's got a lot of skills that I think I like, the size, the length, the shooting ability, but sometimes it just takes him a while to figure it out. And I've seen Drew be negative, especially on the radio show. I've seen him go hard. I've seen him I've seen him go hard at Pope and Cal after big losses, especially on the postgame shows. I absolutely love the KSR postgame shows. If they would stream those on YouTube, I'd get on here and we could all listen to it together. I don't know if they stream the postgame shows on YouTube. I know they do on Heart Radio. Yep. And I don't know why that would be. I mean, John Wall has a UK tattoo. Yeah, but I'm talking about the one they do on the radio. The one I've seen Rapid Reaction. Do they not do post-game shows anymore on the radio? There's nothing like a Matt Jones, Ryan Lemon, KSR crash out after a loss. And listen, and I understand what Peanut's saying, but also understand these guys are fans of Kentucky basketball like we're fans. You're all going to hear me be negative, Peanut. You're going to hear me be negative some. I look at the game from a different perspective than most, but I mean, Good, because I love them. Oh, okay, Jake, I got you. Since there's nothing going on, they're not doing it. Yeah, I used to go to KSR a lot for the pregame shows, a lot during football with Cash Daniels. When I was there when Cash Daniels power slammed Ryan Lemon through a table. And I remember walking out of there thinking Ryan Lemon is nothing but a punching bag. He's Matt Jones's punching bag. But you know what? It works. And, I'm hoping Ryan's feeling better. I'm hoping he's, I've seen him out and about more, but I'm hoping he's on the mend. I do really like how Matt Jones has kind of incorporated Ryan, Drew, and Shannon all in the show, and I think they all own part of it. Oh, I remember I downloaded iHeart on my TV, and I would just lay in bed and just laugh. Zach moves, so no game. I'm going to look in. I mean, it's just so hard, but I would love to be able to get credentials as media, but it might be too hard. Yeah, I like Zach, and I actually one of my favorite things to do. And of course, it's 12:31, and here I am rambling on. But one of the things I really, 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 really like to do is the catwalk during football games. I think that's so cool. I really like it. I hope that's something they continue to do, and I'm sure Will Stein will. And the walkover, that's for basketball games, right? Or are you talking about football? Yeah, I guess if they're going to Rupp, it's basketball. Do the players do the walkover? Because I don't think that's something I knew. Jack and Zach attack. Okay. Which I mean, I like that, but right. I get that. I get that. But what they don't understand is credentialing some of these people and getting them in there to report on it, actually live from the game or whatever, will produce a lot more views and clicks. I know, Clyde. I know. Thanks for the reminder, though. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking. I enjoy, especially talking about UK, especially when there's a good discussion going on. I've mentioned it before, but check out the starting intros on the radio right before the home basketball games start. It's incredible. You talking about like when the radio guys do the starting lineups, or what do you mean? I remember you saying this. I remember talking about it, but I appreciate you, Clyde. I really do. I enjoy doing it, and I always will. Always will enjoy it. But yeah, I would like to get to Lexington for. I'm trying to learn how to go live from the phone. There's an option there, but oh yeah, I've seen that. Peanut, we're not doing this tonight. We're not doing this. Every live you bring that up. We know how you feel. We're not going to try to convince you to feel otherwise, but I promise you're not going to convince me to feel otherwise. You're entitled to your opinion. And if it's fact, you're entitled to believe the way you want to believe. But we're not going to do this every single time. That may be true. I'm not saying I disagree with you. And I'm not to be quite honest, Drew's not the only one. Do you think Milan will be in the starting lineup? 100% yes. Yeah, I love the intros. I love the music. I love all that. Our school does it really well at Pendleton County for our girls. We turn the lights off, spotlight, the music coordinated. But I can tell you what we did this year for senior night. We let the parents be involved in the lineup, and they got to create their own little how when girls are running out now and they meet the person at the top, they have to do whatever it is they do. Boys do it too. Well, we let the parents be the one that created the dance for the girls, and it was really, really cool. I might see if I can find it sometime and put it on here. Yes. And I don't like the Chicago Bulls, but their entrances used to be really – and the Pistons had a really good one too. Yes, Malachi Marino will be in the starting lineup 100%. I just don't know why are they not allowed to be negative when things aren't going well? Why are they not allowed? You ought to see their message boards. I know it's not podcasts, but go look at their message boards. Go look at Kansas's message boards sometime about Stokes and him shooting off fireworks on the 4th of July if you don't think they get negative. Go on. And I know that's different than a podcast. But the only reason you're saying that KSR shouldn't is because of the amount of listeners, the amount of influence they have. They've built that brand. They've built that. They can do what they want. I'm a fan too. You're a fan. Peanut, I promise you, if you had your own podcast and you watch Kentucky just lay an egg against a big team, you'd come on here and you'd be fired up and frustrated too. The only difference is we don't have the amount of listeners and followers. No, you got to respect KSR for having that kind of influence and that kind of fan. I mean, they built that from a garage. I will always respect for how they built that. And I understand that because they have listeners, because they have influence, that sometimes their negativity bleeds over into the fan base. I get all that. I would say if you don't like them being negative, don't listen, don't follow them, don't do any of that. You know how they are, so just take it out of your life if it bothers you. All right, Josh, I'm ready, buddy. Kansas will be – and here's what I'm going to tell you, Peanut. You wouldn't have a lot of followers, and here's why. Sometimes I tune into a post-game show to hear them crash out. That's much better radio. That's much better to listen to. Why lie to the fan base and be a homer when things aren't going well? Why? Why does Matt Jones get on there and say, all right, guys, yeah, we laid an egg. We're down 18 at the half to Gonzaga, but that's okay. We're playing hard. No, you question not, are the athletes ready to play? Did they mentally prepare themselves for that game? You don't sit there and lie to the fan base by giving them all sunshine and roses. That's not how you are, Peanut. KSR is huge. Okay, they're entitled. I don't really care, honestly, what any of the national people think about us. Hell, go watch Field of 76 or 8. They talk bad about Kentucky all the time. I agree, Anthony, 100%. And I've already called it like it is. Louisville's going to beat Kentucky in the TBT this week. I believe that. I don't think Kentucky's team's very good. I hope they prove me wrong. Is Zoom Diallo going to be our starting point guard? Yes, 100%. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay to glaze when things are going well. Milan hits 8 of 10 from 3. I'm probably going to glaze him. I'm not one of those people that I'm not going to sit there and say, and Peanut, I hope you wouldn't listen to me if I created false narratives just to be a sunshine pumper. I would hope you say, this guy's crazy. I'm not listening to him. And I would totally respect it if you said this guy's crazy. Or if I'm discussing the game and I say something you think's false, I would love to have that discussion in a civil manner. But I'm not going to sit here and pump sunshine and all that stuff. Absolutely. But you know what else does? The positive stuff does too. Ryan Hampton's talked about it. You honestly think, and I know they see it, but do you think they listen to what people say? They build relationships with coaches. I know it can negatively affect recruiting. I'm not denying that. But a lot of these guys don't even listen to that stuff. They don't pay attention. I love you, Peanut, but I love your loyalty, and I love the fact that you're a homer. It's going to make us for good discussion here in a few months. But that's not me. I will always try to be as honest as I can. But I don't have millions of dollars backing me. If I had somebody backing me, I would probably do what they told me to do. But as Holly said, we're all Wildcats. We should all support, but it's all right to criticize. Constructive criticism isn't bad. That's right. Recruits don't give two dead flies about most of that stuff. It's about the greenbacks mainly. In this day and age, I hate to say it, Anthony, but you're right. Greenbacks are dictating a lot. I agree, but some of that stuff that they're listening to has nothing to do with, it's more personal nonsense or about Pope or, when they signed up to come to Kentucky, the one reason, ask any of them, what sticks out to you about Kentucky? I guarantee you 90% will say the passionate fan base. And with passion comes negativity sometimes. But I agree with you. Malachi talked about it. His brother talked about it. Travis Perry talked about it. That's what I'm saying. Cal and Matt Jones had a pretty good relationship. Matt Jones also has a fan base that he has. I mean, those last 5 years, what could you sunshine pump about Cal? He was skipping the media. He was sending out assistant coaches. Somebody was injured. He was saying, I haven't seen him. A lot of people come to Kentucky because the fan base is so engaged. And with the fan base being so engaged comes a lot of negativity. But you know what? It also has a lot of positivity to it. And when we go to the Final Four this year, you're going to see a united fan base stand up and support their Cats. I hear you, Clyde. I hear you. We do have a passionate fan base, and I've said this before. But because this fan base is so passionate, you know what? That's where this whiff man came from. These people were so locked in and engaged and in tune with the recruiting that when they didn't sign to go to Kentucky, they were pissed. A lot of people invest in these recruiting. They want to know. They think, it used to be back in the day. That if Kentucky was involved, people came to Kentucky because of the brand. They moved the needle. They still move the needle, and they've had bad years. But because of the brand, because they're the gold standard, that's why people came to Kentucky. Or because of John Calipari. John Calipari sold his program. He sold, and I know you all don't like this, but selling the NBA the way he did got a lot of recruits. Hell, he's getting recruits now at Arkansas. He just signed the center that I heard a lot of people say we wanted. He's reclassing. They need a 5. We should be a positive recruiting tool when it deserves it. 100%. Like these people that are negative on Mark Pope right now, I don't pay no attention to it because he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve it. And Josh says every time a Kentucky player gets a foul, the crowd boos at the referee. That's right. We shouldn't even be negative towards the refs. Absolutely, Amy. Absolutely. Why do you think all of these guys why do you think all of these guys use Kentucky as leverage to get more money? Because if Kentucky's involved, they know they can get more money elsewhere. Hey, Kentucky's after me. Kentucky's offering me $3 million. It happened with Colin Chandler. Rob Wright used Kentucky. Tyron Stokes used Kentucky because they moved the needle. Now, I'm not saying anything about that. I'll end up in court. That's 100% true. But I feel like Pope's got the players this year. Last year, he didn't. But you know what? And I don't know if you were on here when I showed this. Let me show you this. Or if you were behind, you may have saw it. All right. Look at this, Peanut. Just look. Okay? Think about this. We think that Mark Pope had a bad year last year, right? Team wasn't very good. He still had the most top 20 wins. He still had look, he's got double what anybody else has. Kentucky was bad last year. It took a half-court shot from Otega Owe to beat St. Mary's. When in normal years, Kentucky would demolish St. Mary's. Truth of the matter is this. Kentucky wasn't very good. NIL's making a lot of the mid-majors a lot better. But yet, in a down year, Calipari still had more top 20 wins than all these coaches. Or not Calipari, Mark Pope. He had more than Calipari is what I was going to say. I'm sorry, not St. Mary, Santa Clara. Thank you. I get on a rant. Here it is almost damn 1 o'clock again, and here I am still talking, but I'm on one now. I don't know, Peanut. I've seen times where fans are negative, but I'd say very little. I'd say you can't name 2 instances where fans have cost Kentucky a recruit. And I like that. I love that about you, Peanut. You challenge me, and I love it. I love that you come in here challenging, but sometimes I get tired of the KSR nonsense. We know how you feel. You don't have to say it every show, but when you challenge me like this, I'm all for it. I think it's good discussion. I'm not mad at you. I'm not heated at you. I get heated about Kentucky basketball. Every time Kentucky player gets a foul, the crowd boo at the referee in Rupp Arena, Josh says. Fans don't need to be negative. Unless the referee owns a roofing company. That was absolutely nonsense. That was absolutely nonsense. I think Pope did a poor job coaching through many stretches last year also. The trend of getting behind in games and the crap rotation, that's on the coach. Right, and that's what I said. There's a reason they were getting behind early in games. They weren't mentally prepared. And this is why, a lot of people keep saying they want Derek Anderson to be a coach at Kentucky. Derek Anderson will never be a coach for Pope. I believe that. When he came out and said the things he said about Kentucky at practice, he understood why they weren't prepared. If he had a problem with Kentucky's practices, I don't think KSR is the place to air that. I have no problem with him saying it. He can say what he wants. But I honestly believe appreciate you, man. It is hard to do. You're right. There's sometimes I feel like I have nothing to say and it's dead air, but I appreciate you, buddy. I definitely appreciate you putting this mega thing together. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. But, I was more upset with the rotations last year. I felt like Pope was just throwing people out there all willy-nilly. Didn't really have a rhyme or reason to what was going on. I criticized Pope last year. However, Derek Anderson has access to practice that we don't have. Now, I will tell you this. As a coach, if I email the right person at Kentucky, I'm allowed to go watch practice. I'm probably not allowed to film or record, But any coach in the state of Kentucky we're allowed to go watch any practice if we choose to. Probably in India, probably any other state. No coach has ever told me no when I've asked. But honestly believe that we had a bad year last year and Kentucky still had more top 20 wins. It's just no, I don't agree with that, Crash. I love when Peanut comes in and says things. Sometimes I wonder if he actually believes some of the stuff he's saying or if he's doing it just to get a rise. I don't think he believes everything he says. But I think he is passionate about this because we've talked about it on multiple shows, and he's always brought up the fans. And I just don't think you can name 2 instances where a recruit has said the Big Blue Nation is the reason why I didn't attend Kentucky. If you can show me 2 instances where that happened, then I might give you a little bit of credit. But until then, I don't think the fans have anything to do with it. These players are going to go where they want to go, and whoever offers the most money. I truly believe that. And not always the most money, because they're going to be millionaires anyhow. But, like I really think somebody could offer Milan more money than Kentucky. I think he was still going to Kentucky because of the fit. Yeah. If we play on the Wednesday of the SC tournament game again, Mark Pope's going to catch heat. But it's, if you think for 1 minute, and Peanut, I hope you can do this. I hope you can watch every Kentucky game this year and never get frustrated or negative. I probably won't last 1 game. I'll probably see something in the scrimmage that irritated me. Somebody not hustling back on defense or, that I'll call out. However, I tend to watch the game a little bit more from a coach's perspective, but I'm still a fan. And like I said, just because I disagree with you doesn't mean you're not right and doesn't mean I'm not wrong. You're entitled to believe that. Now, I think sometimes good shows, maybe not always negativity, but say something, post something, or do something to stir up engagement. I think that's okay. Now, I did call Matt Jones out one time in a direct message. I didn't do it publicly. That I told him that he posted something that was directly for clicks, and he got back with me. We exchanged words for about 2 or 3 texts, and he told me he disagreed with me, and he said he was disappointed that I had that take. I said, look, Matt, I understand why you do it. I understand fan engagement. I understand what makes your show go, what makes your show click. But I truly believe you posted this to get fan engagement. And he said, honestly, Matt Jones, he got back with me. He told me he was disappointed in me, and I apologized because I probably unloaded. But Matt Jones is so big, he can post the grass is green, and he's going to get engagement. It doesn't matter what he posts or says. He's going to get the engagement because of the fan base and the following he's built. Yeah, we used to have the double bye. We were winning a game and in the finals. Negative does hurt engagement, but his following is so big. He could literally lose 1,000 subscribers and not even notice. Imagine if Matt Jones had a personal YouTube channel. I don't even know if he does. He may. No, only thing I see is the KSR one, Kentucky Sports Radio. He would have as many subscribers and monetized as much as anybody if he really did. You know how he used to do like Twitter Live? If he did stuff like that on YouTube, it'd blow up. SEC back then too, I don't think was near as good as it is now. And I think we went through a stretch, and you can say this is, you can say the players weren't as good, Calipari recruiting wasn't as good, but we went through a stretch the last few years where our players weren't. I don't know if our players were SEC good. That's it. That's it, Austin. And listen, you've created this. I think it could be really, really huge. I think it's something you can do multiple times. Um, I'm excited for it, man. I really am. I'm excited for the fact that you're putting it together, you're organizing it, you're getting the people involved. I think it's great. Um, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with the outcome of it too. I'm excited. But just like that 801 putting out the bracketology that had a Kentucky a 7. Why do you think he did that? What's going to happen to that post? What's going to happen? UK fans who already replied to it. Me. Me. I told him that was a lazy take. Mark Pope should not be the reason why Kentucky is a 7 seed in his bracketology, because he's got more top 20 wins in the last 2 years than anybody. So don't give me that nonsense that because Mark Pope's our coach, we're going to be a 7 seed. And you know what? When I told him, he didn't reply back to me either. He knows. He knows. Exactly, Amy. He's going to get responses and clicks. Um, he's going to get, just by putting Kentucky a 7, he's going to get all the interactions he wants. Well, I feel like I'm going. I feel like I'm going to defend Kentucky when they deserve to be defended. To put them as a 7 seed right now, come on, man. Now, if it was based on their performance and they've played like a 7 seed, go for it. I heard somewhere that every team in the SEC the past few years has been top 100, while there were multiple teams in conference outside the top 200. I don't disagree with that a bit. If you remember, there was maybe 1, 2, 3 teams in the SEC. This guy's got 5 or 6 teams ranked ahead of Kentucky in his bracketology. If you want to say because they got new players, we got to see how they gel first. Blah blah blah. Okay, but your reasoning for being a 7 seed is Mark Pope. Come on, man. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But it's frustrating because I think sometimes, if you want to talk about, something for clicks, it's usually something like that from somebody who's not a BBN. Now, I'd be lying if sometimes I didn't post things or whatever if I wanted clicks. I think that's natural. I think everybody. Like for example, when I put up a like a YouTube thumbnail for the show, I try to make it like where, hey, I'm gonna have to watch to find out what he's talking about. Like for example, the show I did I titled it. Let me go to my shows. The one I titled Nicola and Spears and Trolls. Oh my! I got 3,600 views on that, probably because they wanted to know about what Nicola was going to do or what Marcus Spears was going to do. But And sometimes Sean Smith side up here. Sean Smith is, I wonder how much he's going to do now. If he's still doing the show as often, because I know last time I saw Spencer did it, but he's the head coach at Douglas now. Peanut coming in hot is what I know. Stan, Crash, look what time it is. 1 o'clock. Y'all have done it to me again. Y'all did it on purpose. I know, Clyde. I should listen more often. Yeah, he is the listen, he's gonna do a good job. I hope his first year he gets some support, and hope he's got a good staff. Douglas isn't an easy place to coach, I'm sure. I know he's been on staff for a while. I know they know him. He's probably already built rapport. He's going to do a good job. I'm a fan. I love listening to him. I know when Mark Pope first got hired, he did a breakdown of Mark Pope and his offenses, and I thought it was very knowledgeable. I'm hoping I can connect with Sean sometime this year during coaching and just talk basketball with him. I'm very knowledgeable. There's nothing more I love than sitting down talking with knowledgeable people. And when I was at that coaching clinic, those guys were not. Jeff Van Gundy, knowledgeable people. Oh, yeah, you can tell. Studies the game, student of the game. That's what I was worried about, Amy. Depends on what day of the week they do it. If they're willing to switch their days. Hold on, man. My camera got a little blurry or something. I don't know. That looks awful. Um, I wonder sometimes, Peanut. Yeah, like I don't know what happened. I haven't hit anything. I don't know what happened. Something going funky, because my camera is usually pretty clear. That's all right. I'm not gonna be on here much longer. But Peanut, I'm not gonna lie. I don't care what I love you in the chat, whether you believe what you say or not. I think you sometimes with what you say, you incite good conversation. You ain't lying. I said I was gonna do it at 12:30. Y'all have kept me going. But no joke. Guys, I appreciate you all stopping in. I really do. I'm going to Louisville tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get some footage there, maybe meet some people, get them on footage or get them on video so we can actually see some of these people, meet some of these people. But guys, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for staying through the power outage. We're smarter than most in this chat, Peanut. Yeah, like I don't know what happened, Holly. I don't really know. So it just happened. But all right. Thank you guys. I'll see you all probably on Sunday. I'll see Jake tomorrow. I'm sure I'll post a shorter something tomorrow. So stay tuned and stay hot.
Happy